Don't save the good stuff for the after stream. Do it now.
That was live. Good job.
There you go.
And we should be live.
All right.
We were for all of that.
I'm live as hell. I'm here. Look at my candle. It's beautiful. Come on. Stop it.
That beer is violating that candle. I'm very upset by it. There's too much heterosexual mixed with too much gay.
Hey, what's American beer and having sex in a canoe have in common?
The
fucking
candle?
Near water.
Yeah, they're both fucking near water.
Oh God. Yes, I know. It's horrible. But I do have some...
Canadians have real beer. What's wrong with you?
Well, I have some arrogant bastard ale that I'll pull out later. It'll be fun. It'll be great.
Is it more than 4%?
It's like 7%. It's crazy.
Oh, it's like 7%. Oh my goodness, it's a cider.
It's like ridiculous.
You're a proper lady.
Yeah, hold on. Here we go.
Don't insult him by calling him a proper lady. There's nothing proper about him.
There's nothing ladylike about him either, but I mean, if I'm gonna stretch, I may as well go the full mile.
I've got no lady parts, but thank you very much. But there it is, arrogant bastard ale. Look at that. See it?
A lot of people's fathers don't love them.
But what does it taste like is the important part.
Unwanted children, apparently.
It tastes like...
Speaking of which, what's our topic for today?
Oh, no, that's not a good segue. That's a terrible segue.
You're the freaking leader of this gang of
when he tells you what he wants us to talk about, you're going to be very upset.
You're the one.
No, fuck you. That was the worst.
Let's be honest here. We're talking about those who want children the most.
Oh
no!
And we're not talking about adoption.
Okay. The adoption process just got a lot fucking harder.
I think so. And it's not our fault. All the jokes can be made. It's not our fault. I swear to God.
You know, I feel almost bad talking about Amos Yee when he's not here to defend himself, but I'd want to kill myself a little bit, so...
Yeah, I hadn't... Oh, there's Danny. Hey, Danny.
That was terrible.
Rolled right on.
You joined us just in time to start talking about Amos.
Oh, Amos. Jesus. Good. Hi.
So I hadn't seen the latest Amos video until just before, when a non sent it to me when she suggested this topic for the hangout. Well done.
Hey. Not my idea. You asked for the link. I'll quote it to people if you want.
I said
you wanted to torture yourself. No, I said it was inevitable because this was everybody's talking about.
Okay. I misunderstood you then.
You did.
Yeah. There's no shortage of people talking about this, and it's going to be... This is not going to be good publicity for Amos.
I don't think anybody's excited about it.
He's done it before.
No.
I mean,
he did do it before.
He did pretty much the same video before, so I think anyone who's still listening to him is okay with his eccentricities, shall we say?
I think people were hopeful that he would have changed his mind, especially after everything he went through. Because prior to this, I mean, before he was talking about the pedophilia stuff, he was one of those, like, you know, speaking out against religion in Singapore and talking about how he's being treated by the Singaporean government for voicing his opinions and how he was sent to jail and all that. All of that.
Yeah, well, that's what got him fame in the first place.
Yeah, and all of that was like people were rallying for him because, of course, I mean, in areas that freedom of speech is much more essential, it's like, yeah, obviously this is terrible. Government shouldn't do this. Everyone was before him. And then he said the pedophilia stuff.
That's the thing. Even with what he's saying, he should still have a right to say it. But of all the,
I have to ask a question, and I'm pretty sure I know the answer, but I have to ask it anyway. Can we be 100% sure that he's either not a Poe or he's not doing this just for attention?
I don't think it's either of those things, but I
don't think it is either. But we need to ask the question. I think.
I don't think so.
Well, I'm suspicious that he's kind of doing it because he likes to push the boundaries a bit. Not like he's a Poe or just doing it for attention, but his whole thing appears to be freedom of speech.
Stirring
And
the pot.
maybe he's trying to just test the boundaries. Like, okay, the West is apparently saying I have free speech, but what extent do I really? Like, how far can I go with this?
I think
Right,
you're hitting.
so-
Well, until he starts saying we should all fuck children, I don't think that there's going to be anybody knocking at his door to throw him in jail. I'm pretty sure that's the extent of it.
Well,
Well, I
he's
think-
saying that you should be allowed to fuck children.
I know he should be allowed, but he's not encouraging people to do it. That's the difference. It's
Oh,
so
I think-
gross.
It's a fine line at this point.
It's
I do-
so
I do-
gross.
I do think that Danny is closer to the mark there, because one of the things we have to keep in mind here is his age. I think he just recently turned 17.
No,
and
he's 18, isn't he?
Is he? No, I thought he was still. I know he was in like the Singaporean jail when he was 16. That's when he first made a series of videos.
That was a
And
long time ago, though.
Yeah, that would have been
Wow.
about 2 years ago, maybe.
Yeah.
You think so?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then he gets
Year
out.
and a half, 2 years, maybe.
I mean, like even if he was like in his like somewhat 20s and all that, I'm pretty sure that like the age has to sort of be taken into account, because he's in that point where he's arrogant. He thinks he knows everything, and because he's getting this kind of treatment, like going to jail and all that, I bet he thinks he's making some sort of point. He's reached some sort of like the oppressed minority of some sort, and maybe I don't know.
I
I
mean,
think he's just.
Well,
Really?
he did put pedophiles in the same basket as gays and lesbians, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
There is another thing that
Um,
makes me there's another thing that makes me kind of suspicious. In the original pedophile video that he did, after that he had a stream with a bunch of people on. I was on there, and I remember making an argument. It was essentially about if someone was drugged, they're not at full mental capacity. So you'd agree that that person can't consent to sex, right? So if someone at someone can't consent unless they're at full mental capacity, then surely you think children aren't at full mental capacity, right? But he's at the end of that, he said that he doesn't have a response to it. He has no argument about it, but he didn't drop the point. Which, I mean, if you're admitting that you have no response, no counter argument to an argument that's presented, that seems like a tacit admission that you know you're wrong, which maybe lends some credence to him being a Poe.
I think he's justifying past abuse. Personally, I think that's some.
Oh, I definitely don't think that's it.
No,
I definitely don't think that's it. No.
it seems like
I've had a lot of
motive.
conversations with Amon. I still talk to him time to time, and no, he seems to have had a decent upbringing in most ways.
Well, I don't mean necessarily from a family member or anything like that.
Well, we can never know 100%.
No, but that's why I said from where I'm sitting, that seems like it would be the most logical motive, because a lot of people who are victims do go through that like attempt of justifying the abuse that happened to them, especially if it was somebody they were close with, or maybe he didn't necessarily have a negative experience, because that's where he seems to be planting his flag, is in
Like
those-
Milo, for example. Like he
Yeah.
was a victim of that when he was young, and he sort of did that weird stuff on the Rogan podcast, kind of justifying it.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like he's planting his flag on those very rare instances where there's not necessarily trauma, but the trauma it doesn't surface usually until adulthood. So we have to play on essentially a guessing game. On that, let's cross our fingers. This kid's down to do it now, and let's hope that it doesn't fuck them up later.
Yeah.
The thing is, though, he talks about babies consenting.
Oh.
Babies.
Yeah, he said if
the
they
argument-
can like giggle when you touch them or something, he said. It was, oh my God.
If the argument
it's
was
a-
13 or 14-year-olds, I'd still disagree with him, but at least it would be some more...
It's sensible.
Yeah, you could argue the point of what is the proper age. Is it 14? Is it 15? Is it 16? But babies? Really?
The image that comes to my brain when he says that stuff is like a toddler with grabby hands at a toy they want. It's not. It's like he doesn't understand the capacity. The children don't understand
I'm glad I've
what
got a drink.
regrets are.
Well,
Yeah, I'm deep into it already.
he said something in the comment section about
That comment was worse than the video.
Yeah, a baby choosing to play with a fire truck. They can consent to that, so therefore they can consent to play with a penis. Like, are you fucking serious?
Yeah.
And he talks about a child touching a parent on the face is somehow the same as the child choosing to touch someone on the penis. I mean, it's
well, children don't understand the concept of regret either.
Well, we also, I mean, I remember in that Jeff Holiday stream, he made a good point. Babies are not, fully developed. I mean, they're still developing. I mean, the concept of a hand hasn't fully rendered into their brains yet. That's why they're so fascinated when they do see them. It's like, the fuck is this? It's got so many.
They look at everything like that.
Yeah.
You could hand them a knife. They're not going to know it's going to hurt them, but they're going to want to touch it.
Yeah,
they want to play with it.
Why do you think they get freaked out when they see it in Santa Claus?
If the child chooses to play with the knife, then
surely they must have consented to the cuts on them,
Yeah,
of course, yes.
If we give a child some fireworks and a lighter, and the child chooses to play with the fireworks and lighter, then surely
figures it out.
Yeah, surely,
Sure, if the child chooses to run in traffic. Surely, if the child chooses to eat nothing but sugar, like we don't.
I want to eat nothing but sugar.
Right, and you are perfectly capable of consenting to that, in my view.
And as far as I'm concerned, you're aware of the consequences of diabetes.
Diabetes. I'd rather not have diabetes. I want to live. I don't really right
do
now.
Do the Fandango. But... What the hell are we talking about? I'm sorry. I was getting some more beer and smoking a big
came
joint.
Back to the let's justify pedophilia. That's what you've come back to. Yes,
there's no justification for that kind of bullshit. I
should stipulate justify child rape, not justify pedophilia. Pedophilia is a thing that exists, and it's very sad.
With children, get the fuck out. No.
Hey, but there's totally healthy.
The point Little Miss Anonymous is making is perfectly valid, right? Like, there is a difference between someone who is... Like, the word pedophile technically just means someone who has that weird attraction, not someone who acts on it.
A non-offending pedophile.
Right. That is technically a thing.
Better? Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel terrible for them because that must be fucking awful.
Right.
We want
living with that must be awful.
We want to keep that behavior, in the... taboo. It shouldn't that shouldn't be done. It really shouldn't be. It's something you should feel shame about that. Sure, that way you feel the need to go out and do something about it, like get treatment, seek therapy. We shouldn't normalize that as a concept.
This is the thing that Amos seems to be planting, like I said, planting his flag on, is that those very slim cases where that happens and it's not traumatizing later, which is the vast minority of those.
The thing that I don't get there is, even if, like, let's say that that's the case, there's a couple where it isn't traumatizing later, the adult's taking that act, he doesn't know that this is going to be one of those few cases where it isn't traumatizing. So,
exactly.
So the thing he's doing, as far as he knows, is still just destroying someone's psyche. Like,
exactly.
He or she.
He or she.
Yeah.
Well, actually, that's a good point. Amos did talk about it specifically just as a he.
Yes, I did notice that.
Yeah.
I think most people assume. Actually, I
don't know if that's justified.
Well, I see. I just saw recently a woman, 22 years old, who got arrested for raping her students. But that's like something that's happening all the time. They never go to jail, not for very long.
No.
Yeah, there was a case in England a few years ago now, where a woman had been working at a daycare center, and some of the children there were babies, and she'd been taking photos of them and doing goodness knows what else, and sharing them with two other pedophiles online, one of which was male and one of which was female. And it was a fairly shocking story, I think, for a lot of people, because they didn't realize that women can do this too.
Did she go to jail?
That's
Yeah, I'm pretty sure
amazing.
they did. They hadn't met
That's-
each other until they went to court.
At least
It's rather amazing that people are always shocked, because one of those stories, you know, the teacher with the student, or the guard with the juvenile detention centre inmate, whatever you call them, when it's an older woman and a young boy, they come out every couple of years, and every single time people are shocked and say, I can't believe that this happens with women too. Like, how can you possibly be shocked every single time?
Well, teachers are happening just about every week, it seems.
here's this.
Yeah,
It's incredible how often it's happening.
This one
Yeah.
is what I saw earlier today. I bet good money she doesn't see any real jail time. She'll probably spend the duration of her trial in prison and then get off with. It's hard to say.
We should say, though, that the age of these students tends to vary quite a bit. There are some cases where they're, 17, and it's still wrong because it's student teacher, but it's obviously not as bad as, say, someone
I'm
who's
actually
13 or
looking-
12. And I've heard
Right
cases where they're
age.
11.
Right, yeah, that's messed up.
14,
I mean, in New Zealand, the age
wrong.
of consent is 16, and that seems fine.
14 and 15 is still wrong, but that's
That's,
a bit more of a grey
This
area,
one-
I guess.
This was in Canada, actually.
Hmm.
It
That
doesn't.
chick
I
is
don't
hot,
think it
though.
says the age.
Do I have to say it?
Ew, really?
She's hot. Yeah.
Well, I don't know.
One of-
I'll tell you
one
this.
of-
She's hotter than I would expect a pedophile to be. I don't know
Well-
if she's exactly hot.
That's disgusting.
How
Well,
old? That's
About
what
2
I'm
or
trying to
3
figure
years
out.
ago, one of these online publications
Yeah.
published something that the 10 hottest female teachers who have slept with their students or something like that. So,
That's tasteful.
yeah, well, it shows the different way we view female sex abusers and male sex abusers. Could you imagine, the 10 hottest male rapists? It just would never happen. It would never happen.
No. Well,
Yeah,
there's
none
some
of
sites it
those-
would happen on.
None of that says unfortunately, how old the student was, but that leads me to believe they were probably under, like, very young. Like, because high school here is 13.
Well,
They
I
could
remember.
Hmm.
I remember a case, I think it was about a year and a half ago, where I think she was 19 or 20. She was a babysitter looking after, I think, an 11-year-old. And the judge said that she was very immature for her age, and that the boy was very mature for his age. So it wasn't really that big a deal. Well, why the fuck was she babysitting him then? If she was so immature and he was so mature.
Well, just put the male in that place, babysitting a girl that was 11. Oh, he's just babysitting her. Yeah, fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
It ain't happening, right?
Yeah, there's definitely a big double standard.
It gets pretty crazy, actually, the level of the double standard. I was just looking for it. I found this one. It was from last year. It's in New Zealand, where I'm in.
We
A
forgive you.
woman. Yeah, I apologize on behalf of my country. No, this is actually really messed up. So a woman violated her 1-year-old child sexually and sold the footage, and she was
Oh.
given eight months home detention and 100 hours community service.
No.
I hope she still
Oh.
hasn't got custody of the kid.
A 1-year-old.
I have not
child?
checked. I don't know if I want to.
Jesus.
A 1-year-old,
fucking
yeah.
Christ.
It reminds me of that woman who beat the crap out of her toddler with a spoon and then taunted the husband with how light her sentence was.
Yeah.
God, Jesus. Fuck.
Like it
That's sick shit, man. I'm sorry. That's crazy.
it really is. The double standards are astounding. Astounding. Like women can't ever possibly do wrong ever. Like, do women ever go to jail for more than 10 years? I wonder how often that happens.
No. See, the females who perform these activities on their babies, they blame the man because it's the patriarchy and all this other bullshit. Jesus Christ.
And even not, they'll find some other reason to blame him. My husband hasn't satisfied me sexually in a long time.
Oh, like postpartum depression, I can't imagine is a pleasant thing to fucking deal with. It's got to be unpleasant. But that light of a sentence, like I see some women not getting prison time at all for killing their infant child.
Oh, actually, that's a special law. It's called infanticide. And the idea is that women, after they give birth, they can get hormonal and their emotions can get all messed up. So if they kill their kid, oh well. That's sort of the idea. And they get a reduced sentence. And I believe there's, in most countries, a difference in how it's recorded on their records. But I'd have to get the exact details. But yeah, there's a specific crime that's a lower level crime, less sentence than murder that a woman will get, just a woman, if she kills her baby when it's a newborn.
That's so fucked. Oh wait, hamster! You ought to have some experience with this. Don't hamsters eat their children if they can't look after them?
Yeah, they never get sentences. What's with that?
They were
What's
yummy.
with that? That's fucking bullshit.
Ooh, delicious.
I think it's only the females that eat them.
It probably is because they're all cunts.
He could be a trans hamster.
I could be. Yes, thank you.
That was very sexist. I'm very upset.
Why are you assuming my gender, Ellen?
I didn't.
Bitch.
I didn't. Are you female? Did. I'm so sorry.
Yes, I am. No, I'm trans hamster. I'm a trans hamster. I mean, there's that.
Yeah, but what gender is your hamster?
He's a tramster.
A tramster.
Hamster.
A trampster sounds like a really bad strip club.
It does.
Let's all go to trampsters.
We should after this.
Yeah, sounds good.
No, why not? LMA is buying beer. Yes.
Hey, I never offered to buy. I'm pretty sure you guys could drink like at least $500 with beer, and I ain't doing that shit.
I've already done that tonight, so it's crazy. You're right.
$500 by yourself? How are you coherent?
No, not quite 500, but it's getting there. It's lovely.
How are you coherent?
I'm never coherent, so nobody can tell. It's great.
You're very coherent for a wasted person.
Well, I've only had like 8 beers. I mean, come on.
Like 8 beers, but American beers. So you've had like 2. Real?
No, I've got. Oh God! Is this where we're going to go down the path we're going down here?
I think we've already gone down that path.
Wait, let me.
What is it with YouTubers and alcoholism?
It's only on streams. It's allowed us to get drunk with people while we're alone, naked in our houses. That's why.
Naked, huh? I was about to ask why I'm the only one on camera. Now I know.
Well, there you go.
Well, I've got my arrogant bastard ale there, buddy. Danny.
Somebody, wait.
It's right here.
Somebody in the chat is correcting me, and I should point it out that what I was talking about is apparently not postpartum depression. It is called postpartum psychosis. It is a different disorder. That's when they go all baby murder.
Isn't it just called a postpartum another excuse? Because seriously.
I mean, temporary insanity is an okay plea, but you still should go to some kind of prison, either a psychiatric prison or otherwise. You still shouldn't just be like, "Aw, you killed your baby. You must have been sad. I'm sorry." Well, that's what it feels like. I'm sorry. You must have been sad. Oh, you poor woman. Do you need a hug?
Some teenager shit out a kid somewhere, and she threw him in the bathtub to let him drown. She didn't know she was pregnant. Now, LMA, ladies on the chat here and whatever, how do you not know you're fucking pregnant?
Actually, there are a lot of ways you cannot know you're pregnant. Some women don't actually stop their period, and you don't start showing until about 4 months in.
You could,
and maybe you're really fat.
You could be in a coma.
And if you're really fat, it could just fall out, and you'd be like, "Holy shit, there's a baby."
You could
There's actually
and in a coma.
You know what's funny?
I had gas and the baby fell.
There is a Lifetime show called I Didn't Know I Was Pregnant, and it all revolves around fat women who didn't know they were pregnant.
But yeah, I've actually
I thought it
heard
was
of
all the cake.
a woman that I knew. She actually gave her kid fetal alcohol syndrome because she didn't know she was pregnant. She was on the birth control pill, so she still got her period normally, and like her cycle, everything was normal, and then all of a sudden she started showing signs of pregnancy, but she didn't know she was pregnant, so she just lived life like fucking normal. So her kid came out a little bit fucked up, but
so normal being just
there are ways to go.
The skeptic in me has to ask, how do we know she's not just using that as an excuse?
Because as soon as she found out she was pregnant, she started acting like a pregnant woman, and she has 2 other normal babies.
Okay.
I remember.
Well, I mean, if she was gonna fuck one up, why wouldn't she fuck the other 2 up?
Fair enough.
I don't know. Maybe the first 2 drove her to drink.
That was the oldest one. That was her first one.
Ah, okay. So she felt guilty with the other 2 then.
Well, no, I really do think it was just the birth control.
Okay.
Because it does fuck with you, and it does force your body to do weird, unpleasant things. Don't take the pill. Go and get the IUD. It's worth the extra money.
Okay, I'll look into that.
Yeah, Danny's like, I'm fucking out. Screw this.
He's gone to get the he's got to flush his birth control down the toilet.
No, she said the word period. Triggered. I'm so upset. No, it was actually the birth control pill that caused the fetal alcohol syndrome. I know you have to drink a lot, but it was the birth control pill that actually caused the fetal alcohol syndrome. Fetal alcohol syndrome isn't necessarily pertained to just alcohol. You can get fetal alcohol syndrome.
But if the fetus chose to drink, how do we know that? Why should we stop the fetus? Sorry,
it's sentient and it consented.
I'm arguing like Amos.
It did a fucking beer stand off of the umbilical cord while I was in there.
Oh yeah, I can imagine the pregnant woman is like, I should be responsible. So she goes in for one of those ultrasound kind of things. Like, all right, can you tell if the baby is giving me a consenting yes with its hands? Yeah. Oh. Yeah, I go on a special trip just so I know if I want to have a night out with the ladies. It's just the concept alone is fucking disgusting.
Danny,
somebody said
having problems.
Apparently,
this is why it's so much better to keep your camera off, because that's what fucks with them. That's what fucks with the signal.
Yeah, it does, and it can fuck with other things. Which reminds me, Hamster.
Yes.
Are you there? Hey.
Yes.
What is in the background, my dude? It's some sort of like a recording device or a.
Oh, yes. I'm gonna dox you all. I'm a bitch. Wait, hold on. This thing?
Yep. Should we talk about something else while he's back?
What? Yeah. Oh, it is a recording device. Okay. All right. Just out of curiosity.
No, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah, I go outside and I breathe in the sound of Phoenix.
Who wants to go outside? Ever?
Well, it's 80 degrees here, sweetie. So it's not.
Yeah,
that's not fun.
It does depend on where you live.
What is that in real human temperature? Not fucking American temperature. I don't understand American, sir.
Let's see now. 30 something, like 36 is room temperature, I think. So it's about 36.
36 isn't room temperature.
36 is like boiling. I want to die hot.
Yeah, exactly.
No, boiling is 100.
Tropical island.
No, boiling is no. Somebody explain real temperatures to the American. I can't.
Yeah, I'm looking for the converter on my phone. Hold on.
We're all like, how do you speak American?
Let's speak American down here. We
America.
don't need no damn Canadians.
You know what? I will fully admit Fahrenheit is better for baking. It is more accurate. You get better cookies.
That's right.
It's true.
Oh fuck! Now I want cookies.
God, I guess in this place, Jesus Christ, that's terrible.
You are the only American here. How does it feel?
I'm sorry.
I said, how does it feel to be the only American here?
Canada, where it's fucking
You're
frozen.
you're roboting really bad. I'm
So
assuming.
36 Celsius is 96.8 Fahrenheit, to give you some idea.
Oh my god. That's
God.
death.
Hold on.
That's so hot.
There's the
That
thing
is
here.
so
It's-
unpleasant.
No, it's not.
It's awful. Nobody wants to be that hot ever. I refuse to
Hey.
acknowledge the people that enjoy that kind of heat. They're not real
19.
people.
19 degrees
36.
Celsius.
It's been. I've been in weather hotter than 36 when I went to some tropical islands, and it was pretty nice, but only because you could fling yourself into the sea to avoid audibly crackling in the heat whenever you want.
Vacation is different. Obviously,
Okay.
obviously, being on vacation is different. I've been to Mexico. It was like 46, which was fine in the air-conditioned room or in the pool. But if I had to go to work and it was 46,
46?
I would want to kill myself.
Jesus. That's
Yeah,
that's 120
it's-
degrees. No, that's Arizona. Actually, this past summer I've been here for 6 months, and it was 120 Fahrenheit, which is fucking ridiculously hot. It's horrible.
I'm gonna look at that up, so I know what that is. It was 48 degrees. Christ.
I want to die.
Yeah, I've got 65 Fahrenheit.
I would like refuse to go to work. I would just I want to work at night or I'm not working. Fuck this.
Yeah, it reached 47 here one summer.
Jesus.
Yeah.
47. Holy
That's
shit.
awful. How does anybody get
Yeah,
anything done?
I was only one day
Oh.
47, but we did have, I think, 3 days of 45 that summer. 3 days in a
Honestly-
row. 3 days in a row, that is.
It almost hit 30 where I am this summer, and I
The
wanted
power-
to die.
The power grid was crashing because of people with air conditioning, going. So
Oh, no shit.
yeah, that was a really bad summer.
This is
I
actually
think
the
it was
first summer.
2010 or something like that.
This
2010,
is
2011.
the first summer I ever had air conditioning in my whole life, and now I don't know how I lived.
Well, obviously, you need the air conditioning more because of global warming. It's obviously
That's
happening.
not real.
The worst place I've been temperature-wise was Iguazu. I don't know what the temperature reached, but the humidity was unbelievable.
That's not a
Oh
real
God,
place.
yes,
Clearly,
yes.
you just made that up. That doesn't sound like a real place.
Yeah, it's basically in the middle of South America. Great waterfalls there, but the temperature and the humidity is unbelievable. And then that night it just bucketed down rain. I've never seen rain so heavy.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're talking about the weather. How did we segue from Amos to the weather?
Well, I think we were going to go on to the Hollywood scandal, but we kind of got sidetracked.
Were we?
Well, that's where I was heading. So
So
You're
you're
the
gonna
boss, man.
blame that on me again?
no,
Somehow?
I'm not blaming it on anyone. But
Now, blame it on the ginger chick. Why not?
Hey,
if you insist, we will. But well, I
there's
guess
there's 2 other gingers here. I'm not alone. Look at Samaj. She's very red.
Yeah, but you're the woman here. I mean, obviously, we have to oppress you.
I'm not a real woman.
Yes.
They cut out part of my cervix.
Patriarchy
I don't
is
count.
going on right now.
Hey, you still have the capacity to give birth. You're still a woman.
No. Oh, damn it!
Oh,
I was
yeah.
I was actually mad about that. What kind of woman's like, if I'm gonna have cancer, I would just like to be barren out of it. But I didn't even get that.
No, you still got the baby maker.
Yeah, I'm still producing eggs. It's bullshit.
But you haven't
I'm
popped
pretty
out
sure
a
if you
baby yet.
wanted
God
to
damn,
become
you're
barren, you could get some kind of surgery. I'm sure it's possible.
Yeah, but they won't give it to me. I'm too young. They're like, nah, no, you're too young. I don't want to do that. No. Do you have your husband's permission though? Welcome to Canada. We love women. That's actually
Except when
been
the husband has.
that's been outlawed now. They made that illegal. Doctors are not allowed to ask you for your husband's permission when you go to get your tubes tied anymore. But like 6 years ago, 7 years ago, when I wanted it, they were like, "No, you're too young and you don't have your husband's permission. Come back when you get married, then we'll talk about it." fuck you! I'll just get him to get a vasectomy, which is what we did. So there, I win.
There you go. Vasectomy, are vasectomies less invasive, or is that just a thing people say?
Way less invasive, and they actually come with a lot of fun benefits.
They cut your balls off, Dan.
And they're also easier to reverse too, aren't they? Which is, I think, why they.
That's a big thing. They are easier to reverse.
Which is, I think, why they were probably trying to talk you out of it.
Yeah, everybody wants me to breed. I don't like it.
I wonder.
You don't want any little baby anonymouses running around?
I really, really don't.
Oh my god, baby anonymouses. I can imagine wearing the little kids running around with Guy Fawkes masks.
Seriously, we would have.
Well, we know what the thumbnail of this episode's going to be.
Little tiny me's everywhere. Seriously, they would be.
Yeah, there we go.
They would be ginger fucking devil children. I'm not kidding. Like our spawn would not be pleasant for the world.
Yeah, the more
Wait, you're natural gingers, and you're not going to have kids.
I'm a natural ginger. He's a natural blonde, but he's got a lot of red in his beard. I'm pretty sure they'd come out ginger.
yes,
As a fan of gingers,
no,
you have to. For the good of humanity.
He's already had the vasectomy. I'm so sorry.
No, for the good of humanity, you have to do it. You got to. You have ginger kids.
It's not happening. It ain't happening.
Well, make it happen, baby. Do it.
Gingers are an endangered species, so we should
They
set up
are.
some kind of area just for gingers, just so they can breed.
Yes, a reserve.
Yes,
a reservation.
If I had girls, that would be fine. But if we had boys, that would just be submitting them to a life of torture. There's no such thing as a hot ginger male. They don't exist.
Oh, come on now. Copper Cab is one fine man.
Dave Cullen is he's pretty hot. I mean, you know.
He's a daywalker. Well, he's more of a daywalker, but still, no. The trauma! I'm in trouble now. I said no.
Apparently.
I love it that you and the chat both use Dave Cullen as an example of an attractive ginger male.
What? No, he's hot. I think he's hot. You know.
Your standards are awfully low.
No, he's okay. He's not terrible.
Yeah, this is what I always say.
Is he hot in Celsius or Fahrenheit, though? That's
either way, baby. Either way. He's a ginger.
Ginger women break hearts. Ginger men break mirrors.
Oh, come on.
Rough.
Oh, that's tough. Yes.
I'm sorry.
Why? Why, little miss? Why do you do this?
The truth hurts. It usually does.
God damn.
I don't understand.
Samaj is just sitting over there going, I'm really happy I'm not actually a ginger.
Yeah. I'm just a cartoon ginger. I ain't a real ginger.
Oh, we should get Tim Blake on here. He's a ginger, isn't he?
Is he a ginger?
I think
If we're getting gingers on, I'll message Coppercat.
Look, strawberry blondes don't count.
Oh, I mean, like, some
Tim
people
is a
sit on the
strawberry.
ginger.
What was that? Jesus Christ. Ah!
Tim is definitely a strawberry blonde.
I guess I'm doxing myself. I don't know. Some people
You
say I'm
are.
a ginger. I don't know. Am I ginger? Yeah.
Yeah, we'll recognize you anywhere on the streets.
You're very
Oh, I
red.
certainly hope
It's
so.
Samaj right over there.
I mean, if we're going by avatars, then technically Bane's a fucking ginger too, because he's also very
Bane
red.
is like the
Oh.
ultimate ginger. Look at
Yeah, Bane is proof that there are hot guy gingers. Look at that.
Yes.
I'm a skull in a jug. I don't have any hair.
You also don't have a penis, which is very sad.
Oh,
Yeah,
Well, I do. It's in a different jug.
The Kool-Aid is the air.
It's Tiny. That's Tiny Bane, right?
No.
Oh, that's what Tiny Bane means.
Oh, mini Bane. Yes, mini Bane. There you go.
He's coming at you with a picture of his splooge.
He's got a gallon
It's
of
more.
man
It's
gravy.
more. It's
Yes.
creamier in that fucking jar.
I keep warning people not to drink it, but they don't listen.
It's okay.
Don't drink
You've
the man
got,
gravy.
You got like
Yes.
feminist spooge in one and man gravy in the other. You have a weird fetish, you know that, for like human bodily liquids? It's kind of gross.
Well, the poison Kool-Aid is bleach and period blood. So.
Yeah, see, you got a really weird obsession with bodily fluids. Has anybody ever said that to you? Because I think we need to talk about it. This is really an intervention. We all care about you. This is a lot better than Amos's topic. I'd rather talk about period blood in a jar than him. It's less gross.
But can the period blood consent? That's the question.
It did not consent to being in that jar, you fucking rapist. How dare you collect it?
The eggs in the ovary didn't consent.
It should run free. Let it run free.
Free bleed all over the fucking bus.
Fucking free bleeding. Gross. Get yourself.
Do these women not understand that you can...
Golmio grin.
You're gonna earn your Red Wings.
Or earn your Red
Do these women not realize that you could free bleed into a pad? You don't actually just have to bleed through your pants? That's fucking gross.
Well.
Patriarchy restricting you. You can't have that. You know.
Why did they get triggered when you compare menstrual blood to shit? Because it's about the same thing and it spreads about the same diseases.
It is about Canadian. Listen,
Hey
That's
now.
racist.
Schmeckle's not here. He's the one that sounds fucking Canadian.
No, you sound Canadian, actually.
Do I?
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm gonna blame it on the alcohol right now.
I do.
Nar!
Oh, you guys best be leaving the Canadians alone here. Otherwise, I pick up a Chesterfield and just throw it right at you. Cross continents. Oh, you're in for
My grandfather used to call couches Chesterfields.
It's a couch. I didn't even know what it was.
It's still upsetting.
It's an alcohol brand or something.
I was hoping.
Well, like that other thing, I've never seen milk in a bag before. Never.
Definitely
my whole
sounds
life.
like a Canuck.
Is that a joke or is that really things
No,
Canadians?
it's really a thing. It is really a thing.
Yeah, and they're not
Milk in a
talking
bag.
about tits.
You're Canadian.
So.
Apparently it stays fresher longer, but who the fuck keeps their milk for a really long time? Buy less milk. Something wrong with you. Don't buy it in a bag.
How on earth would it keep fresh longer?
Because no air gets at it in the bag.
Why don't you just make the top airtight?
Well, exactly. Buy it in a jug, you Neanderthals. I don't understand you.
That doesn't make any sense. Like, the tops are airtight. They've got that seal thing. And you pull it off and you hear the hiss, which means it must be airtight.
Also, if you cut the top of the bag open, which is what most Canadians do, air just gets at it.
Right.
Without permission.
Yeah, yes, without the fucking air is raping the milk.
Every conversation comes back to rape, it seems.
Well, just in this stream, because we brought up Amos, so everything is rape. Everything, we have to point it all out.
It tends to be a fairly common talking point in our corner of the internet, although we tend to be replying to a lot of other people talking about it.
Is this?
I'd ask Amos to come in, but I don't think that he's been banned from Twitter now. Did you guys see that?
I'm not surprised with all the pedophile talk.
Well, no, to be honest, I thought that the Twitter would be fine with that. Like, Because there's a lot of mainstream media, it's somewhat mainstream,
no.
like Salon and Mike and things like that, that have been somewhat normalizing pedophilia.
But not to
they're doing
that
something.
not quite to that extent, I don't think.
Yeah, maybe he's going a little far, but I don't know.
Because,
It definitely doesn't seem like right-wing extremism, which is the only sort of person I'd seen banned until Amos.
Well, are you familiar with Heart Progress?
No.
Okay, well, they get banned all the time. And they're very liberal. Very LGBTP.
Why do they get banned?
Because they're a movement that is trying to normalize pedophilia.
Ah. Okay.
But not
Well,
just
there we go.
pedophilia, like child rape, like Amos was. So
I know I figured that.
I know you did, but I want to make sure other people, because as soon as you say pedophile, people assume child rapist every time you say it. So
Yeah, fair enough.
if you're gonna plug the fucking if you're gonna plug it live. Gosh, come on.
I was waiting for the opportunity. I was waiting for
Well,
Oh God. Well, I was just saying, like, an alternative to, like, jerking off to children is you can jerk off in a Tenga egg. This stream is brought to you by Tenga eggs, by the way. Tenga eggs. Go fuck yourself.
How old are the
eggs are-
Tenga eggs, though? That's the question.
Well, I'm pretty
fresh,
sure
fresh out of the carton, never been used.
they are designed for that very reason. So I think that they're designed to consent.
Designed to consent.
They are. They're male rape pockets. They're just like the sex dolls that are definitely being raped. They're not consenting.
Can they make you a
Wow.
sandwich afterwards, though? That's the question.
No, unfortunately not.
We
Well,
need
I
to
mean,
advance technology to that point.
You're
Well,
just
at
trying
least
to replace women. How fucking
Thank-
dare you?
Thanks to the
We
eggs,
need to
already
have a use. They're not allowed to touch the sandwiches.
So long as you look. I mean, we already got eggs, which means you already got your mayo and you already got your protein. So I mean, you're halfway there.
Are you eating the eggs when you're done with them, Samaj?
No!
'Cause you're not
I'm
supposed
joking,
to.
you bitch! Oh my god! No!
Oh, now we know how Samaj makes his own sandwiches. I think he might need help. That's some really
He has
gross egg
special-
salad, man.
As long as it's not the
He has
original
special
bread.
mayonnaise. That's all we need right there.
Special mayo.
Okay.
mayonnaise.
Egg salad is supposed to contain real eggs. Just
And
So you
sperm.
know.
And sperm too. I mean, why not?
I mean, are you gonna eat it?
Is he a
no.
woman?
I mean, if you're gonna make it, I'll eat it. If you're gonna eat it, I'll make it. Oof, that was backwards.
Oh my god.
Are you drunk?
No.
Not even a little. Completely sober.
This is the most sober stream I've ever been on.
It's so unusual for people to be drunk on the bar. So
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah, who knows? Right?
No
This time of
sober
night?
people and no pants.
Well, unfortunately, I'm sober, but
What are you doing here?
yeah, that
well,
didn't sound Canadian.
yeah, I'm a broke Canadian because I'm an artist. I mean, therefore, money. I clearly I don't like the money.
You could let me pay you for the stuff you did for me.
That sounded really kinky.
Yeah,
That's how you need to watch your language.
He does.
woman.
He does art. Okay.
Oh,
Kinky,
is that
kinky.
he's talented? Is what you're
Get
saying?
me the kinky.
I only asked him to draw 3 sets of boobs. All right, only 3 sets of boobs, and I only kept
believe that.
one.
So Samaj is a gigolo.
Technically, that's true. So
Kind of. Although, Anna did ask me a very philosophical question one time. She asked me,
Did I?
oh yeah, you don't realize it was deep. It was deep. You asked me, do you ever masturbate to your own drawings?
Did I ask you that?
Oh, you asked me that, and
I don't
will-
remember that. How drunk was I?
Oh wait! I want to know the answer.
So do I. I don't remember the answer.
The answer is no.
Oh.
Why would I? What the fuck's wrong with
Why
you?
would you masturbate drawings though?
What are you talking?
Anyone's
I
drawing.
mean,
Oh, don't even tell. You have a big yaoi collection. Don't even say anything about it over there with your judgments.
What?
So do you all know Shad? The
A big
Yaoi-
yaoi. A big yaoi.
Yaoi is gay Japanese animated porn.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
I thought a
Yes.
yowie was like an Aboriginal Bigfoot.
Don't be
I'm
coy.
pretty sure they're called yowies. So I didn't know what the fuck you were talking about.
Oh, you're good. You're a good faker there, Bane. You're great.
No, I'm serious. I'm
No,
serious.
we believe you. We
They-
believe you too.
I don't know if you can still buy them, but they used to have chocolates where they're called yowies, and you'd get
They were
like a little
chocolate
toy
puffs,
for kids.
probably.
yeah, chocolates. Wow.
Yowie is the sound that you make when the dick goes in the ass.
What?
Ow.
I mean, not after the first time.
Mm.
Depends on the
After the
dick.
first time, you're probably chewing on something.
Depends on the
Oh.
girth.
It does.
Yeah.
If it's a chode, you're in trouble.
What? Oh, yes.
Has anybody ever seen a chode in the wild? I don't think so.
No, I do not look at the other dicks. Sorry.
You do not look at the other
Me-
dicks.
Methinks the
No.
lady doth protest too much.
Mm.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
What have we become?
No,
Big?
That was very
We're-
sexual.
Drunk
Don't
fucks.
stop
Oh.
fucking stop serenading your candle. It's really unpleasant for the rest of us.
I'm sorry.
That means
Sir,
to take
hate
you
my
to
candle, you-
yowie.
You hater. You ginger hater. I hate you.
I'm not a
Yeah,
ginger
always-
hater.
I'm not singing at my candle. I'm just fucking drinking beer and getting ripped. It's fun. Sorry.
I'm so
Why
sorry.
not? You should be. You should.
I don't know how to apologize further.
Don't judge me. Don't judge me.
Oh, come on. You're a
Everybody's judging
Canadian.
everybody here.
Come on, woman. You're a Canadian. You know how to apologize.
Huh.
Yeah.
I really,
It does.
I'm a bad Canadian though.
It does appear to be a real thing. It's like Yowie chocolates will soon be available in Australian stores.
That is disturbing.
Well,
Is that,
available
oh my
for
god,
20
the Asian
years. So
kid
that's
is
been-
advertising it. That is so wrong.
Oh my god! No. Yowies.
See?
Oh my god, they look really familiar. I think we have them here. I didn't even know.
They
We
are
have them
from,
in New Zealand.
they are
They look like really uncomfortable butt plugs, to be honest
Well-
with you.
that too. They also have the Cadbury logo on there, so chances are we have had them at one point.
And you would
Oh.
know LMA, wouldn't you?
So what are they?
What an uncomfortable butt plug looks like? Yes. Who wouldn't know what an
Yes,
uncomfortable butt plug looks like?
I don't know what that looks like. I just,
You've never been in like one of those XXX stores because I don't believe you.
I have not.
I don't
just,
believe you.
like, well, I'm sorry. I haven't. I'm sorry.
Well, you should
I
go
mean-
in one and educate yourself. You'll see a lot of uncomfortable shit in there.
No, I don't want any butt plugs. No, I'm just not there.
Not
They have-
anymore.
They have more
enough.
than just butt plugs, you know. They got anal beads, they got stretchers, they got dildos, they got whatever you want.
No, I don't want any of that. But
Some of
thank
them
you.
have
That was
strippers in the
great.
back, you know.
No.
Come on, 25-cent peep shows. This is a top quality stripper.
I got some whore next to me right now in the hotel. She wants to give me a blowjob. It's like, no, thank you. I don't want.
Well,
disease.
you sounded like you were getting a blowjob earlier, so
Oh, well, I'm sorry.
and then you muted for a long time. So
Well, you know, it's alcohol is a fantastic thing.
you're not supposed to put your dick in the bottle when you're done.
Well, at least a wine bottle will feel tight. You know what I'm saying?
You got a small dick, man.
Yes. I'm proud of it. Who cares?
That's very discriminatory, Little Miss Anonymous.
Hey, I've publicly shamed a micro dick because he's an abusive asshole. I don't even care.
Yeah, we're Speckle anyway.
And so let's talk
I
about.
really
the
hope
movies.
he doesn't listen to streams, so he's gonna miss that. Which I love.
I couldn't help myself. Sorry, Speckle.
You're not, not
No,
really.
I'm not. I'm not really. No.
People keep talking about him
was good.
and not here to defend himself.
Yeah, that's the best time to talk about somebody is when they're not here.
Well, we've been doing that with Amos. I mean, yeah.
He already publicly defended himself, and it was a shit show.
Yeah, I'll say that fucking
Yeah.
pissed me off for the rest of the day.
Yeah, that
He
stream,
says-
I watched it.
He says he wants to do another one of those streams defending his pedo.
If you
Beliefs.
if
But
just-
he wants me and that guy T to be on it
okay, when you're on it,
because he
if
thinks
this,
we'll be more open-minded or something.
if this
What?
happens, I want you to ask him if we should base our laws on maybes, like maybe this child won't grow up to be traumatized as a possibility, or if we should base it on the fact that like 80 to 90% of children who've been sexually assaulted grow up to be fucked.
Well,
Right.
I
Well,
think-
outside of all jokes, it's mens rea, right? It's like you if you do something knowing that it is likely to cause harm to someone, then you are held accountable, right? Like
Exactly.
it's like same as reckless endangerment. If you did something that put someone's life in danger, even if you weren't 100% sure it would put their life in danger, you'd still be held responsible because you knew before you did it was likely to. It's the same shit,
Mhm.
right? You know it's likely, it's almost guaranteed to fuck this child up. The fact that maybe it won't is not good enough.
So
Exactly.
what you're saying is, if a 5-year-old says, "Hey,
No.
can I have a bottle of scotch?" you should probably not give the 5-year-old the bottle of scotch, even though the
Yeah.
5-year-old might want it.
Even though you know what's,
Hey,
you know
Bane
what's,
is onto it.
you know what's
Yeah,
funny?
that's
You
an
know what's
interesting
fun- wait,
concept.
wait. You know what's
Maybe we
you know
should
what-
make some laws around that. I don't know.
you know what's funny about that is the child wouldn't get punished for that, but the adult would.
Exactly.
The adult that gave
Yeah.
it to them. I wonder why. Because the adult
Actually, yeah, let's do
understands.
that. Instead of punishing the adults in cases of pedophilia, we should punish the child.
How dare you consent to something that's
But a
illegal?
child can choose
You
to
little
play
shit.
with a fire truck, so surely a child can choose to drink a bottle of scotch, all right?
Yes, surely.
Realistically, though, the
Or
scotch
smoke
is a lot
cigars
less
or something.
damaging.
Ugh.
The scotch would result in a fucking immediate regret. Immediately afterwards, they'd be like, "Oh shit, what have I done?"
Actually, when I was younger, I was at my grandma's place, and my little brother had the dessert, and he was like in a high chair. He was like, I don't know, fucking 2 or something, and the dessert was trifle, which, for those who don't know, is full of sherry. And there was way too much in it, and he was drunk, and he was a little 2-year-old, but he was happy as fuck. He was waving his spoon, going, "More, more, more." It was great. Like,
How was the hangover?
I don't know, but like little kids, I think probably would enjoy alcohol. They just shouldn't have it.
I got drunk at a New Year's Eve party once when I was young. Jehovah's Witnesses don't drink though. They don't drink and they don't celebrate New Year's, but this was definitely a New Year's Eve party. I just kept asking people if I could have a sip of their drink. And if you go around to like 30 people and ask for a sip of their drink when you're 10, you're going to get drunk. That was
So I need
my-
to pretend I'm 10 and go to a family.
You do. Can
Yeah,
I just
okay.
taste that? Can I try
Yeah.
that?
I'm
Actually,
only-
you could probably
I'm only
you could
10.
you could do that at any
Give me a drink.
You could easily do that at any age. Oh, what are you drinking? Can I try that? Can I taste that? Is that good? What is that? Can I try that? I would love to. It would work easier for women than for men, I think, because women are a lot more eager to share with women. Like, oh yeah, try
And men are also a lot more eager to share with women.
It's true. Do you want my appletini? Get drunk so I can take you home.
So I need to dress as a woman and pretend I'm 10 to get drunk for free. That's what you're saying.
No, one
Pretend
or
you're a
the other.
10-year-old woman, then guys will buy you alcohol.
10-year-old woman should never be said.
Yeah, no.
10-year-old woman.
That should never be uttered ever.
10-year-old woman is only something Amos he would say.
Wait, does he understand the difference between girl and woman? Can you ask him that too?
I don't know. Like, he's not on Discord, or at least he never comes on, and he's banned from Twitter. I don't know how to get in contact with him anymore.
Well, fuck, go comment on his videos. Those are still up.
That's a
He
good point.
doesn't seem to think there's a difference because he seems to think that consent works both the same way for adults and children. There's no
Right.
difference. So,
well, I think one of the things that Amos really needs to learn is how evidence and research works. Because when I was listening to the Jeff Holiday stream with him, and Jeff was even calling him out on that, saying that because Amos wrote an article defending all this, and everything he was citing was pretty much people's personal experiences, and a lot of stuff he got from NAMBLA. None of that is actual research. All of that is like, it's anecdotes.
Even if we gave that to him, you could give that to him. You could give him that there are very rare instances where it may not be traumatizing to them as adults, but that's not the vast majority. The vast majority become adults and they go, "Holy fuck, what did this person do to me when I was 5?" That's what happens. Usually they don't experience the trauma until they're adults.
It's exactly the same as if someone who's under the influence of some drug, like someone spikes your drink, and then you possibly consent to go home and fuck them. You didn't consent to take that drug, though, and that changed your mental processes. You were not at full operating capacity. It's the same shit if you're a kid. You're not at full operating capacity, and so we shouldn't respect your consent until you are, because we don't know if you really want that or not.
Well,
Exactly.
even if there wasn't a drug involved, kids tend to trust adults because they're the adults. They're the caregivers, their experience, and all that kind of stuff. An adult could try and groom and condition a kid to think that this is what they want.
Mm-hmm.
That's also a very that's also not good. Even if the kid does consent or whatever, it's no.
This is why there really only needs to be laws to protect people from other people in positions of power over them, like children and employers and teachers, etc. Like people that have an actual.
I'm not sure I'd agree with that. Actually, I think that I want to be able to consent to sex
what
with
I mean
someone
is
in a position of power over me.
Yes, but no, I'm not talking about sex. I mean just in general. We don't really need laws to protect adults from themselves. Adults should be allowed to do whatever the fuck they want to do. Children are the only instance where laws should be in place to protect them from their own choices because they don't understand their own choices.
I don't think that's true. Like I said, with a drug, let's say if you chose to take that drug, then I consider the choices you make after taking that drug part of your decision to take that drug.
Yes.
But if you had your drink spiked, you didn't decide to take this drug.
No. Obviously, yes.
Responsible for the decisions you make under the influence of that drug you didn't decide to take. So I don't think it's just children.
No, I mean mostly. I say mostly.
Mostly children. Yeah, that's the main thing. But it's anyone who's not at full operating capacity.
Yeah. Well, that's sort of like a societal gray area too. Like most people won't fuck somebody who's really drunk, who can't really, who's not gonna remember the next day if they're sober or not as drunk and they understand what the hell's going on still. Most people will choose to just not because obviously this person can't even stand up. They're not even gonna remember me in the morning.
Right. Most people wouldn't do that.
We don't necessarily make that illegal.
But hold on. There is the old joke about waking up the next morning and having to chew your arm off because she's so unattractive.
No. That's exactly what I mean. Like, we don't make that illegal because, like, you choose to get that drunk. You make the choice to get so fucking drunk that you make those bad decisions. As an adult, you should be allowed to do that. But there is a
gray area where you can still consent and where you can't. There's that gray area in between where
if both people are just as fucking drunk, I think you can consent no matter what. If you started doing the drug or doing the drinking, those are still your decisions. You still chose to make yourself as inebriated to that point. If you cannot handle your liquor, don't drink that much. I know when to stop drinking. That's why I've never passed out. That's why I've never passed out on a stream.
Yes, I still think there's a point though where someone can't consent because they're too drunk.
That's that societal norm.
I'm not sure about that.
I'm not sure about that.
Like, I don't think that there's a point where you can't consent unless you literally can't consent. By which I mean unless you literally can't say yes.
Yeah, well, if you're passed out,
if you're just like sort of lying there barely noticing, then yeah, you haven't consented and that is rape. But if you consent to it, like you actually say, yeah, baby, fuck me, and I think that you have consented, no matter how drunk you are, provided you chose to take the drugs you've imbibed. If someone else spiked your drink.
That's what I mean. Most people in society aren't scumbags. They're not going to go, I'm going to fuck you anyways, even though you're passed out. Because your ass looks great with your head in the toilet. I'm gonna just do it anyways. Most people aren't going to do that, but it's not necessarily illegal.
Yeah.
If somebody gets really drunk, that's their choice. Ecstasy is a hell of a drug.
All the news has been about rape lately, hasn't it?
Yeah, the whole
really
rape seems to be.
Yeah.
It's just Hollywood.
Yeah, everything. Well, it's rape. Everywhere's rape.
Well, it seems just about everyone in Hollywood has now been accused.
I'm not surprised because the most virtuous will project the most.
Well, actually, I've got two sort of things on that. One, yeah, okay, maybe they are signaling and trying to embrace the pro-women movement because they abusers. That's part of it. But also maybe a lot of them are actually innocent. Seeing you promote this, believe the victim culture, this sort of like guilty until proven innocent sort of thing. Because a lot of them could be innocent and they could have just been sort of this
most of them are admitting it, though. That's part of the problem. Most of them are admitting it.
Many of them are, but some of them aren't. And some of them, like Louis C.K., for example, said he doesn't remember it. Oh no,
no, that was Kevin Spacey. Yeah, that was Kevin Spacey.
Sorry, he doesn't remember it.
But why would you apologize if you're innocent?
This is the thing. It's something he thinks he could have done. He thinks he could have done it. That was the way he framed it. When he said, "I don't remember, but I'm sorry if I did," means I could have done that when I was drunk, and I'm sorry if I did.
Okay, but let's take a look at George Takei, because he denies it all, and yet he's being attacked quite hard for denying it. Like, if you look at his Twitter, a lot of the people are saying that, believe the victim and all that kind of thing.
A lot of people are also saying that because they're right-wing and they love getting a one-up on a liberal that's as outspoken a liberal as George Takei is.
Yeah, well,
with him,
but
I don't entirely. He's very liberal, and he likes to.
I don't know, I don't know exactly how much he would agree with Hayek.
The sense of liberal that is the mainstream. Like when right-wingers say libtard, that's what they mean is fucking George.
It annoys the crap out of me when they say that.
Yeah, because it's the wrong usage of the word. It doesn't mean what we...
to like the proto-libertarians.
It doesn't mean what we used to think it means.
It's annoying,
it's been hijacked from us. We have to let it go.
No.
Yeah, we have to let it go because there's no saving it at this point.
But yeah, so I think that quite a lot of them could just be unable to say that they are innocent because they would be attacked harder for saying that the accusers are liars than just for saying, oh yes, I did it and I'm terrible, I'm a horrible person, I must go to rehab or whatever. And that's actually, that might be better damage control.
But there was another director though. There was another director who said, I didn't fucking do any of this. Fuck all these cunts. I didn't touch any of them. I don't remember what his name is, which is going to be annoying. But it was right along the Weinstein thing. Another cis white male. How dare you? But another director.
Thing.
Like, has he said anything really about it?
Well, even if he hasn't, okay, so correct me if I'm wrong. I haven't been following it too closely. But correct me if I'm wrong, isn't the only accusations against him that he offered a job for sex? Was that basically what happened?
No, some of it was dangling more. So dangling opportunities in front of them than actually even
he wasn't wearing pants?
But that seems fine.
Well,
But isn't, I I don't really have an issue unless you're against prostitution as a profession. Then presumably you think that it's perfectly acceptable for someone to say, "I want to hire you as an actress, but first we have to have sex." And if she says no, then she fucking says no. I don't really have an issue with that.
I don't think
This
that's.
is the thing.
I don't think that's acceptable. But at the same time, I don't think. No, I don't think someone offering sex for a position.
No, yeah,
is acceptable
I would
either.
agree with that. I would agree with
I
that
think it's perfectly fine.
No,
Honestly.
All right. Well, that's,
It should be
prostitution
based on
isn't a-
someone's merit.
Wait, and
I think it should probably be like I would base it on someone's merit, but
Unless they have
it's not my
Wait.
position, right? I'm not the one who's running. I'm not the one who's running hiring. If I was, then I think that I would like to see it be based on merit, but ultimately I think it should be based on whatever the person whose money it is says it should be based on. Right? If I'm going to give you money, I should decide what you have to do for that money. Yeah.
prostitution is an essentially established trade of sex, though. There's already consent given there that this is what I'm offering and this is what you're buying. If you're offering acting and the guy who's supposed to be hiring you as an actress goes, "I'd rather fuck you for the role instead," it's not very there's already not really a consent establishment there. She's not there to sell sex to him. That's not why she's there.
I also think it's different if you're offering.
It's a disappointing business meeting because she finds the terms unacceptable and she should leave. But
is she allowed to go public with that?
Sure, absolutely. If she wants
when
to,
the public is saying, "Ew, you're fucking gross, Mr. Weinstein. How dare you try to get these women into this business with sex? You're fucking gross," which is essentially what people are doing.
But hold on. Shouldn't there be laws to protect employees? I mean, what if an
there
employer...
already are?
But let me finish. What if an employer said, "I'll hire you, but only if you kick back 10% of your pay to me"?
Yeah, that seems fine to me too. I don't.
See, I have a problem with that. I think that should be illegal.
Even as a small business owner, I have a problem with that.
But wait, no. So the person who is being hired in that case is okay with it. Who are you to tell them that they're making the wrong decision?
Because there's no other option. If
there's no other option, they can refuse.
Well, they can refuse, but if as an example, if there's no law to say that employers can't do that, they will. That's why unions were formed in the first place.
Yeah, what if
unions
they have to pay
formed?
rent? They've got kids to look after. What if they need that job?
Well, okay, so first of all, if you're living in sort of a Western country, you're not going hungry, and neither are your kids.
Well,
that just doesn't.
I don't know.
It just doesn't happen.
Plenty of homeless people.
Well, it does. It does, but the thing is, you can absolutely get a benefit or something like that. The people who are homeless is frankly baffling to me, seeing as how all of them, at least in our countries, could totally go on a benefit.
Yeah, but usually you need a post office box and an address to get on a benefit. It's a little bit more complex than that, but I think we get enough topic. But the point is, some people might need the money for, they might have kids, they might have.
I agree with that, but the person offering them that job, right, in exchange for whatever you think it is, they're not making their situation worse by offering that. When you make it illegal for them to offer that, you just mean that they just don't offer it.
Well, this is the thing. That's already
you're not making their situation better by saying you can't offer that.
Wait, that was a bad example because you can already do that by paying them less than a certain amount of money. You can't just
not if you have a minimum wage.
You can't. Yes, but minimum.
I don't agree with minimum wage laws either.
I do as a small business owner. I do. I own a small business.
Yeah,
I went from being an employee to owning a business. All the laws.
Do you pay your employees minimum wage?
I pay them more than minimum wage, but that's my prerogative.
Well, then what's the point of minimum wage?
Minimum wage
as far as you're concerned, minimum wage doesn't make a difference.
It actually does, because when minimum wage is really low, most people will pay the lowest they can get away with. And there's a lot of loopholes.
Yeah.
Like actually, Walmart's really bad for it. Walmart will take advantage of all of these kinds of loopholes. As an example, they can deny extended health benefits to their employees if they don't work full time. So what they'll do is they'll hire a lot of people for part-time instead of offering full-time positions to less people.
Okay, so there's a couple of things. That seems to be a little bit weird. I think that they're going to end up offering part-time so that they don't have to pay these like benefits and things that the government requires they pay.
They're not required. Yeah, they're not required. They're offering it.
But okay, well then, wait. So why are they only putting people on part-time again?
It's company policy.
Why are they only putting people on part-time though? Like you said that they have to pay extra stuff otherwise.
No. They don't have to, because it's company policy. Walmart's an American-owned business, but in Canada we have public health care.
Okay.
So Canadian Walmart and American Walmart sort of work the same, but they also don't, because we already have this established health care. But essentially, Walmart offers extended benefits, which usually covers dental, because there's no dental in Canada. That's not covered under public health care. It doesn't count as health care. So it's cheaper for them to hire 10 employees at minimum wage part-time than it is to hire 5 employees at full-time and pay for these benefits.
Well, then they should stop offering those benefits.
I don't know why they offer the benefits, but that's an example of...
I would imagine there's some regulation involved there. I haven't looked into it, obviously, but usually when you see a company doing something that seems irrational, like, okay, if you hire someone at full-time, then you're much better than hiring 2 people to do that same job at part-time, because that person is going to know the job a lot better, right?
Yes.
Like, it's going to be much more consistent, it's going to be more reliable, you'll get the same product every single time. If they're hiring someone at part-time, I would bet my bottom dollar that there's going to be some kind of regulation that's going to make it so that when they hire them at full-time, it's going to cost them more. Maybe they have to pay some for some health benefits. Maybe they have to pay some, I don't know, towards their retirement fund or something. There'll be some regulation that's making them do that.
Possibly it could be...
Stop making them pay that extra thing and they'll hire full-time employees.
This is the thing. As an example, RRSPs, which are our retirement funds, they come out of your paycheck. Those are in the form of taxes.
Okay.
Like, I take from every employee's check. I take their unemployment insurance, their RRSPs, their GST, their PST.
And you spend it on alcohol.
I do.
That's
and I get drunk on this fucking stream on their government money. But no, that goes to the government. And essentially, like, RRSPs are for your retirement. There are extended RRSPs because the RRSPs Canada provides are very low. They're very minimal. They're not a lot, especially if you work for minimum wage. It's not a lot of money. It's just what they get paid into it. That's it. You can pay more, in which case when you retire, you will have a lot more money to live on. Unemployment's the same. Unemployment is there for if you lose your job. When you're unemployed for 2 weeks, you get unemployment insurance. It lasts for as long as you've paid into it, essentially. But you only make as much as you pay into it. If you want to pay more into EI, you can. But you don't have to.
That seems like a weird system, honestly. Like, if that's the system, people should just save their own money rather than like.
But people don't. That's
saving money through a giant government bureaucracy.
But
if they don't, that's their fault.
The thing, you can opt out of all of this stuff. Like, this is when I argue with people about public health care. You can opt out of public health care in Canada. A lot of Canadians don't know this, but I looked into opting out of it. You can. I could right now, if I wanted to, opt out of public health care, keep my fucking $75 a month or whatever I pay. I don't even know. But a lot of people don't pay very much into public health care. The reason they don't is because it's stupid. It is stupid. You will go into so much debt if you get sick. The amount of money you spend to go to a doctor or private healthcare is going to cost you just as much or more.
So
private healthcare in Canada still exists. You can still get private healthcare. If you want more benefits than the government offers, you can go and get private healthcare to cover those things. But most people aren't going to opt out because it's stupid. It's really stupid to opt out.
Ginger.
What?
If you don't mind, Why should I pay for your health care?
You're not paying for my health care. You're paying for yours too.
In Canada, though, everybody gets taxed at about 50%. So,
No, they don't. No, they don't. Who the hell told you that?
well, tell us what's the tax rate in Canada?
The tax rate has literally nothing to do with public health care. Public health care is its own separate. Public health care is its own separate tax. It's its own separate tax.
Okay, fine. What is that then?
In British Columbia, it's different per province. So in British Columbia, I don't know the exact percentage. I'd have to actually look it up. But it comes off everybody's check essentially, and except for people below a certain amount of money. Right?
I see.
But so, what I mean is you can opt out of public health care. If you really don't want, if you
money,
no, it's free. It's free to opt out of public health care. Yes, it's free.
Right.
Yes, it's free. If you want to, if you want to opt out of public health care, you can.
LMA, somebody's paying for it. Who is it? Who's paying for it?
We're all paying for it. We all pay for public health care. But if you don't want to participate in public health care, you can opt out.
How much out of your check?
Mine, personally?
Yes. How much?
Nothing. I pay it separately. I get a bill every month to pay it separately.
How much?
Should we privatize the fire brigade? Because, you know, if someone's house burns down, why is my taxes going to pay for the fire brigade to save their house?
Just because somebody in the chat thinks I'm lying. There's the link to opt out of public health care in BC.
Isn't that the same argument, though, James?
Absolutely.
So we should privatize the fire brigade, and people have to pay into it to use it.
Well, in the United States, actually, that is what happens actually eventually.
So if your house catches on fire and you don't pay into the fire brigade, you don't get the firemen to your house?
No, I think they come, but you have to pay.
So you have to pay if firefighters show up at your house.
Do you have to wait until the payment clears before they put your fire out?
Or do you just go into debt afterwards?
Well, you have a point, and I understand that, but why should I pay for your house burning down? If you didn't pay for your own shit, why should I have to pay for that?
Because your house might be next door, and maybe the fire will jump across and burn that down too.
Yeah, well, no, I can understand that.
And
Also,
you could use the same argument with public health. If you have a society which has a greater general health, then it improves the society. Maybe it will stop, I don't know, certain diseases from spreading, for example.
No, I'm not disagreeing with you, Bane. I want a Mercedes-Benz, and I want you to pay for it.
Good luck with that.
What if the government tells you you have to?
What's the benefit of the Mercedes to everybody, though?
Doesn't matter. I want it.
It's not in the public interest, though, is it?
It isn't.
Doesn't matter. I want it.
That's not a good comparison.
We're not arguing that people should have public health because people want it. We're saying it's a human right.
Well, actually, no. I would argue that it's cheaper. I don't think it's a human right. I just think it's cheaper. Overall,
Cheaper.
Well, I think both, to be honest.
It is cheaper. Overall.
What do you mean overall? To who?
To everybody. It is cheaper.
I want a house, and I want a really big house, and I want a Mercedes-Benz. You should pay for it.
What does it benefit me?
Isn't that a human right?
Do we get sex as well out of this?
Hell yeah.
It's going back to the Weinstein.
Are you going to give us a reach around, or
simply? Excuse me. My point is simply this: Healthcare might be a human right, but healthcare is something you should pay for.
Right.
Which I do. Which everybody does.
In America.
No, you don't.
Right? In America, where James Day comes from. In America, by the way, you guys, guns are all right, aren't they? It's your right to bear arms, but that doesn't mean you get free guns.
Exactly. So tell me, LMA, how much money do you make per year?
Oh God, I'm not telling you that.
Let's
no, I'm actually not telling you that. Like, that's a little personal. I'm sorry.
Let's just say it's $20,000 a year,
and I pay nothing.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So who is paying for your healthcare?
Everybody that makes over 25,000, I think.
Right. So you're paying nothing to get free shit.
No, I mean, it doesn't cover everything. It just covers very basic life. It covers.
That's not what he said.
It covers.
He said you'll get paying nothing to get free shit. That doesn't mean it has to.
You're paying nothing.
Essentially, but it's the very basic things, like like visits to the doctor, as an example. You don't pay for the health insurance doesn't cover prescriptions. Yes. Like even antibiotics aren't covered by basic health care.
Bullshit.
No,
and
they're
not. You're fucking lying. LMA, you're lying.
No, I'm not lying.
Fucking lying. Come on.
I still pay.
Bullshit.
Yes.
Shit.
I pay for antibiotics and my medication.
I don't care what you paid for. Yeah. What does the government cover?
The government covers like surgery. Like when I went for surgery for cancer, they covered that kind of thing.
So actually, I'm pretty. You can't get a fucking pill to take care of your pain.
I just want to check up a fact. I just want to check up a fact check there. I'm pretty sure the government in Canada subsidizes and about it.
No, like I
subsidize and you're getting free stuff, and now you're saying, "Oh, it's bullshit." Sorry,
no, I'm telling you. Asked. I'm answering your question.
Stop.
I have to pay out of pocket for medications. Birth control.
Do I have to look up a goddamn thing on the fucking internet?
Maybe that's just the way British Columbia.
Nothing into the. You don't make enough money, but you're getting free shit.
Yeah, I'm getting free visits to the doctor.
Please, you're getting a lot more than that.
Like I need I have to get an HPV vaccine. That's $200 a shot, and there's 3 of them, and I have to pay for it. I have to pay for that.
Thing into the fucking system.
Please. You're roboting, I'm afraid, James. James,
you're roboting really bad, yeah.
But I think I know my point. Well, stop. You're getting a bunch of free shit, LMA.
No, I pay.
And that's great. No, you don't. What is the amount out of your pay?
I pay for it.
How much money do you have taken out?
I pay into
How much money do you have taken out of your paycheck to support?
I don't have money taken out of my paycheck. I get a bill. I think it was $1,000 this year for the whole year. Really? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So
yes.
Anonymous. I don't know about exactly what.
Oh shit! Everybody's roboting.
You're saying that it's cheaper. Am I roboting as well?
A little bit. You were, but you're okay now.
Okay. Well, you said it's cheaper in a governmental system, and that's what I don't understand. Because
in general,
to who?
In general, for everybody, it's cheaper because it's such a small amount of money. Because it's such a small amount of money from so many people.
Well, LMA,
if we go back,
wait,
let me answer.
Right.
That doesn't.
If you want my answer, let me answer.
Okay, go.
I don't pay anything.
Listen,
James, let her answer.
Let me answer.
Sorry, excuse me.
Listen, listen.
Thank you.
Listen, I'm drunk, so I'm still gonna try to form a coherent answer here. If we went back to your fucking Mercedes, and I had to give a penny towards it in order for you to have it, along with 300,000 other people, am I going to miss that 1 cent? Not really. That's about how much money we're talking about.
That's a good example, actually, because look, if you pay a penny towards his Mercedes,
and everybody gets private.
Okay, so be one Mercedes. We're talking about paying for a Mercedes for everyone. Otherwise, it's not like a government entitlement for the populace. That's just like, I don't know, you paying for Stalin's Mercedes or something like that. You know,
but that's what I mean.
We're
if
talking
everybody
about giving everyone a Mercedes,
okay. But even so, think about how much.
Still going to have to pay the cost for a Mercedes on average.
Does everybody need a Mercedes?
So should I buy
as an example? Wait. Does everybody get cancer in their life? Does everybody get cancer?
No.
Does everybody leech the medical system? Does everybody need the same amount of medical attention in their lives?
No.
So
No.
if you take a general population and you pay for the bare minimum, like we really do cover the minimum. It's not a lot. We don't even.
But you've
cover
already said you
don't.
don't.
We don't.
No,
we don't cover
you've already said
medication.
you don't pay anything.
But Anonymous, you're just.
I pay into it.
Oh. So
I said
people
people under $20,000 don't pay into it.
Okay, but I'm a bit confused. I'm a bit confused as to what this has to do with child
healthcare. No.
Apparently.
Children don't deserve healthcare
right.
when they should have sex with adults. That's
so
how
Little Miss Anonymous. So you're saying I still don't understand it being cheaper for it through a government, and you'll say that not everyone needs it, and you want to share the cost, but there's all. You're just describing insurance. That's how insurance works.
As an example, people who go into the hospital in the United States and can't afford their health care. Okay?
They should get insurance.
Yes, but here's the thing.
It for free.
No, yeah,
and
that's
they get
exactly
it for free.
it.
They get it for
free.
free.
They get it for free. Who pays for that?
I do.
That's exactly my point.
Yeah, that's bad.
That's my point.
They should pay for themselves.
There is no secular is the wrong word. There is not going to be a government that gives a shit about its population that will ever make it legal to turn away somebody who needs medical help. They don't exist. Nobody's ever going to do that. Nobody's going to say you either.
Well, actually, no, I disagree. I think that you should be allowed to turn someone away. I just think that you should make healthcare free market, and then you can turn someone away if you want to lose the money.
Well, here's the thing: what if they don't have the money?
Well, if they don't have the money, they should get insurance.
But not everybody can afford it. This is
Anonymous. You were talking before about if you spread the cost over everyone, it doesn't really make much difference. That's how insurance works. Everyone knows that they've got some small chance of having this giant cost of having cancer, and so they all pay a little bit into the insurance company, and whichever one of them happens to get cancer gets it paid for. That's how. But is it a
little bit? But is it a little bit? And these insurance companies,
it's less.
No,
it would almost by necessity be less than the government take.
It's not though, and often they'll turn away people who are at a risk for certain diseases or have certain diseases. So if you get cancer and you decide, yes, they do it in the States all the time.
Not in the United States. That
yes,
does
they
not
do.
Happen.
You won't get turned away if you have a risk of cancer. You'll just have to pay a higher premium if they know you have a risk of cancer.
Oh, so if you can't really afford that extra premium.
Why should I pay for you?
Someone else is going to have to. You want someone else to pay for your... Because you have a higher risk of cancer, I should lose money?
Why should I pay for that?
It's beneficial. Like I said, it's beneficial to everybody. I mean, if you... Because
you're not paying any fucking premium.
Do you want to make it so that people can get completely turned away when they have illnesses at hospitals?
No one will get turned away.
But that's the thing. Where does that money come from? If they go to a hospital and they don't have insurance and they need immediate medical care, they get put in debt, right?
Yes,
they die.
What if they don't die because they're in debt and they pay that off?
What if they die before they pay the debt off?
Ginger, sweetheart.
If they die before they pay the debt off, what sort of costs are you talking about?
That happens.
I mean, I'm sure it happens now, but you're talking. What country are you talking about? I mean, it doesn't really matter too much because everywhere has massively inflated health costs. So, okay, when you get a government to take over an industry, it makes it cost an enormous amount more because the providers know that they can charge whatever amount that they basically want, and the government's going to end up covering it. That's why if you'll find that putting a couple of stitches in someone's finger is going to cost hundreds upon hundreds, maybe thousands of dollars, and it didn't used to cost that.
Okay.
If you go back, 50 odd years when there was less regulation around healthcare, they charged sort of reasonable amounts. No, not inflation. I'm talking about adjusted, real value dollars.
Okay. As an example,
it costed way less before because now there's an enormous amount of regulation around healthcare, and of course that increases the value.
I have a
basic
question.
Economics.
I do have a question.
Yes.
I've got a friend coming. I've got a trad nerd coming from the States up to Canada. She's going to take a pay cut, half. If our healthcare costs so much money because it's publicized, why is she making half the amount of money than she would in the States where it's private?
Supply and demand.
So wait, you're talking about she's going to make half the amounts as a doctor.
We don't know a nurse.
So the reason that America has the highest health costs in the world is because of essentially the union around doctors. I've actually learned about this quite a bit recently. So doctors in America are powerfully unionized, and they accreditation of doctors is also heavily regulated. Did you know that there are fewer medical schools that are actually accredited to issue medical licenses than there were 50 years ago in America, despite the population increasing enormously? That's because there's fewer number of schools. Yeah. So the reason that doctors are paid so much there is because they've reduced the number of medical schools that you can get licenses from. They've increased the cost of education to get them, and they've powerfully unionized the doctors so that the doctors can charge exorbitant rates. The reason is because in a lot of ways America has a more regulated healthcare system than Canada.
So what you're saying is they make more money because it's private?
No, because it's unionized and the union is protected by the government.
Oh,
They make more money because there is enormous regulation around healthcare in America. It's not making it, government funded, but it is protecting the amount of doctors that can be accredited in the country.
Wouldn't Canadians' public healthcare, wouldn't it charge more? If you're saying public healthcare is more expensive, wouldn't they charge more? If there's no,
I didn't quite say that. I do think that public healthcare is more expensive than private, but I'm not saying that.
There's two of you yelling at me here.
Might I interrupt?
But I'm not saying that private healthcare is cheaper than public, because there are other things that can increase the cost of healthcare. And America, which has more regulation regarding the accreditation of doctors than Canada does, Canada is going to have lower costs, despite the fact that it has a public healthcare system. But if they were exactly the same, except one of them, the government paid for it, the other one, the public paid for it, the public one would absolutely be cheaper.
Okay.
May I jump in?
Yes.
And be nice and not scream at people.
You're just trying to get a free car out of us, I know.
I just want a damn car, man.
I'll give you a penny towards your car because I don't give a shit about a penny. But I get to drive it.
Anytime. A typical Canadian family with 2 parents and 2 children will pay up to $12,000 for public health care in 2014. So you're one person, divide by 4, 3,000. Did you pay 3,000? You did not. Did you? You said 1,000. So somebody else is paying your freight there, honey. Just saying.
Sorry for what? I got distracted by the chat. What?
Oh, it's
He's
about
saying
my
other people
Pokemon.
paying for your shit.
Yes, other people paid to prevent me from dying from cancer. I'm sorry that makes you upset.
It doesn't make me upset. I'm glad you're here. But do realize somebody is paying the fucking freight.
Yeah, I paid for it. I pay into public
No, you didn't.
healthcare.
You
yes,
did.
I
No,
do.
you didn't.
I pay into public health care.
No, you did not. You paid
Then my mom
$1,000.
did.
But
She
you
pays
pay-
into public health care.
But
The average
but little miss,
paid
do you pay into public health care? Do you pay into public health care proportionately to what you receive
Oh
from
no,
it?
no.
exactly.
No,
Like I
you
said,
don't.
So you got
like
a
I
bunch
said,
of free shit. Yeah.
the
Hold
way,
on, hold
yes.
on, hold on. She's
Yes,
not having
yeah.
operations for cancer every year, though. So,
Well,
there,
that's the wait.
there
That's sort of
could be
Go ahead.
years that she's paying into it and taking nothing out, right?
hmm
Right, but still, there's going to be some if some people are paying less, then they get out. If some people are paying less than they get out, then some people must be paying more than they get out. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly right.
Right. So either she's in Group A and she's freeloading off a bunch of people, or she's in Group B and she's getting screwed.
Yeah, but wouldn't you find that a lot of people would move from one group to the other depending on when it is in their life?
They absolutely would, but I'm talking about throughout your life, right? There will be some section of people who throughout their life will pay less than they put in. So will pay less than they got out, sorry. And there'll be some subsection who throughout their life will pay more than they got out.
But that happens with insurance too, obviously, right?
Absolutely, but the difference is that you agreed to the insurance. The government, you can vote on it, but yours is the vote that swings the election. You don't actually get a choice.
The thing, as far as I'm aware, now somebody's calling me a liar, but I looked into opting out of public health care in BC. I don't know how it works in the rest of fucking Canada. I'm sorry, I'm not a guru.
It works the same.
It works the same in all of Canada. Because
So when you say you can opt out, does that mean that none of your tax money at that point is going to go towards healthcare?
It means
right. You have no choice in having the government take money out of your paycheck to pay for it.
Well, yes,
right?
I still
you can
pay.
opt out.
I still pay taxes.
Yes.
Where are those taxes going? I pay.
They're going to other people.
I pay a medical services premium. No, I benefit from. I'm not an anarchist. Are you an anarchist? Because I don't. Oh no! I want out now. Anarchists make me very sad because they're sociopaths.
How much money do you pay into the health service?
I am not telling you because it tells you how much I make a year, and I don't like that.
All right, let's say it's $100. Let's say it's $100.
$100 what? $100 a paycheck? Because that's an obscene amount of money. It's way less than that.
You should try being in the U.S. where I'm paying $500 a month for health
for your insurance or for public health care, because I didn't think the U.S. had public
insurance. No,
insurance.
We're paying. No. Hold on, no. Hold on. We're paying Medicare and Medicaid. It's called FICA, basically Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, and that's about 12% of my paycheck every month.
That's nuts, man.
Yeah, 12%. So if I make $1,000 a month, $120 of that goes to the government, and I have nothing to say about it.
Yeah, but
that being said, if you're not in favor of your money being stolen, then you're a psychopath. I think is what a sociopath. That's what you said.
And oh, by the way, the $120 that I have to spend on this FICA, I don't get free anything. I still have to pay for health insurance.
Yeah. No, it's America's a really weird system because they've done lots of vague lurches towards public health care, and it's made it cost a shit ton without actually getting the government to pay for it. So honestly, at this point, America would be better off with a single payer system than what they have now. Mm-hmm. But they'd be better off with the free market system than anything, right? It would be much better if they just said, no more FDA, get rid of it. You entirely get rid of the accreditation of doctors. Finally get rid of all regulation around healthcare and health insurance. That would be better. But if you're not going to do that, then just go single payer, whatever.
Yeah, it's going to get there, actually, Danny.
Yeah, I know. The last bastion of freedom.
I knew I shouldn't have brought up fucking healthcare. Look what's happened.
Well, can we go back to the Weinstein argument then? considered.
Yeah.
Were we arguing
Much
about
more
him?
wonderful argument.
Were we arguing about him?
Yeah, about trading sex for a job.
Well, I was going to say,
Yeah.
like sex and Hollywood go together pretty well, and I'm not just talking about like sex in movies. I mean, women have slept their way to the top in Hollywood all the time. I mean, I can almost guarantee you that some of the big name actors out there have sucked as much dick as possible to get where they are, until they've made enough money and then they don't have to. I mean, Marilyn Monroe famously in one of her little interviews when she got a contract to be in the movie, she says, "Oh, great, I don't have to suck dick anymore." And it was supposed to be an off the cuff. It was supposed to be an off the cuff remark, but I mean, some people sort of took it seriously, and that's just the Hollywood culture. I mean,
Maybe it was serious.
I'm pretty sure she was serious.
It's not necessarily Hollywood culture. It's essentially power over want of job. I have this job that you want, and this is what I would like out of you. Usually that means money. For most things, that means money.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people
Bye,
Hollywood,
James! Thanks for yelling at me.
James.
See you later, Ginger.
Oh, we could have a productive discussion now.
Oh no! Now I'm the only person left who isn't a bloody socialist.
bloody socialist.
I have been called so many fucking political jargon words, I don't even give them any credit anymore. What I would love for the government doesn't exist. It doesn't exist.
So Danny,
that's
Danny,
a rich coming from a rape apologist.
Going back to our conversation before we got onto healthcare.
Yeah.
Do you think if someone's hiring someone for a job, not specifically Hollywood, but anything, do you think the best person, the person with the most merit should get the job?
Not necessarily, no. I would like it if the best person got the job, but ultimately, I don't think that employment is some society-wide system or anything. I think that employment is when I want something to be done, and I have some money, and you want that money, and you're willing to do that thing. That's employment.
Notice how you said money.
Money.
And not pussy.
Right, but I wouldn't be giving up the pussy, you see. I actually don't have one. So I still have the money either way. And maybe that job includes using your pussy. I didn't specify that.
So what you're saying is you're a misogynist.
I don't mind.
That's exactly.
Because you don't have a pussy.
Yeah.
When you compare something like prostitution to acting, it's not a very good comparison because an actress is expecting to be paid money for her
but we're talking more than just...
Anyway, let me finish my answer.
No, but we're talking about kickbacks in general because we kind of touched on that before we got into healthcare.
That's true.
Yeah, let me finish my answer to Bane's question. So, basically, I see employment as when I have some money, I want you to do something for me, and so I give you the money and you do that thing. And whether or not you get the job should be determined by whether I want to give it to you. It's my money, right? If I was going to give free money to people... oh, yeah?
But in most cases, it's not an individual's money. It's the company's money, isn't it? The individual is representing the company?
I think the individual might be representing the company, and in that case, it's more what the board of directors wants. But yeah.
So if it's a Hollywood director who has been given money by a studio, then saying, I want pussy for, to hire you, that's really outside of what.
If I was the board of directors, I'd fire him. But that's up to them because it's their company. They can hire whoever they want. They put him in charge of doing the hiring, so he can hire whoever he wants. And if he hires based on who gave the best head, then that's his decision. And if the board of directors doesn't want to fire him because of it, that's their decision. I don't agree with it, but I think it's not my company, so I don't want to impose my will on you and your stuff.
I think the reason, as like I said, as somebody who went from employee to employer, I think a lot of these laws exist just to protect from things like that.
Well, like what? Look, if you don't want to suck the dicks, don't suck the dicks.
Can we quote you on that?
The thing.
Yes.
So this is why insurance. Oh my god, I can't even think anymore. This is why unions happened, because it doesn't.
Sure.
You can't account for human greed. Basically,
Human greed is a good thing unless you're using it unless you steal. If I'm really greedy and I want your stuff, but I'm not allowed to steal from you, then I have to give you something you want so that you'll give me the thing I want. Greed is great.
Yes, but the bare minimum.
Fantastic,
The bare minimum.
Unless
the bare
steal.
minimum.
The bare minimum, of course, the bare minimum, and you want to give me the bare minimum. You're going to work the bare minimum number of hours. Minimum number of hours money that I want to give for this task.
That's not generally how it works, but maybe that's
What are you
just
talking about?
trade, I mean.
Are you going to work more than is required to get the money you want? Excuse me.
Well, there's overtime in it for me if I work overtime.
Well, it depends.
And
on
that
what
was
the
a
hours-
But then
thing.
but you
That
get
was-
paid for that.
But
I
that
think it
wasn't
also-
a thing before unions, overtime. Also, it wasn't a thing before unions that you could demand overtime from your employees. Oh, if you're not going to
I
work
don't think
this
that's
Saturday,
true.
I'm going to fire you. No, that's true. That's why those
I don't
laws
think that's true.
exist.
But no, I don't think that's true. Generally speaking, when I look at the history of those laws, I haven't looked into all of them. Obviously, maybe you're right, and you can give me some sources, and I'll be wrong about this. But generally speaking, when I've looked back at like laws that have been instituted to protect employees, it's always been stuff that the employers were already doing, and the government seemed to just like, oh, we'll make this the law now so that we can claim credit for it. It's like the weekend.
Oh,
John
no.
Andrew Ford gave his employees the weekends, and it turned out that the employees who were a bit better rested did better work, and they actually got more productivity per hour. So other companies started copying him, it became the norm, and then the government said, it is required for you, unless you meet these certain criteria and pay overtime and things like that, it is required that you give people a 40-hour work week. Everyone was doing that anyway. The government seems to only do stuff that was already happening anyway, and they just like to claim credit for it.
You live in lollipop land, man.
Hey, give me the sources. This is what I've found based on my research on it, but give me the contrary source.
I would actually have to do research on it. I'm speaking completely anecdotal from somebody who went from
Okay, well, I've done quite a bit of
working-
research on it.
Yeah,
So,
I would like to look into it, because like
Okay.
as an example, my boss before I purchased this business would any loophole. Essentially, what the law requires is that we get a certain amount of hours off on the weekends, right?
Yeah.
And we're only allowed to work a maximum amount of hours during the week. Now, this
I don't agree
particular
with that. Just to be fair.
this particular employer wanted to spread those hours over 7-day weeks and make you work 7 days a week,
Okay.
thinking that you could essentially force people to work from Monday to Sunday if you only work them
No,
4 hours a
hold
day.
hold up.
And I
That's
say,
bullshit.
wait, let me finish. Let me finish. And I say forced because what I mean by forced is if you don't work all of these extra hours or all these extra days, I'm going to cut your hours back so that you can't pay your bills, or you have to quit and find a new job.
Yes, you have to quit. Look, he has some money. He wants you to do a thing for it.
Yeah.
If you agree to do that thing, then do it. If you don't agree to do that thing, don't agree to it. It's his
But
money. You
here's
don't
the
get
thing.
to fucking impose conditions on him that he doesn't agree to. What do
I
you...
think employees deserve as much respect as employers do.
Yes, I agree. Not more. You want to...
That's-
Basically, I think if you don't agree to the terms of this agreement, you don't have to partake in it. If I don't have to partake in it. Right? But it should be between us. We're both adults. We can both decide what we want, what's best for us. We don't need a government saying like, oh, I know you think that this deal is okay for you, but trust me, it isn't.
But what
Like, so-
happens?
All those laws that make it so that, we'll agree to something, and then the government will say, actually, no, that agreement is invalid. You need to give them more money, or you need to give them more hours, or whatever. That's garbage. Like, if people make an agreement, those two people should be the only ones determining whether that agreement is amicable.
That's the thing. If every employer decides they want to be as greedy as fucking possible and work you to the bone, they will.
No, they can't. Because if every employer wants to work you to the bone, first of all, they will lose productivity. Look,
somebody else.
I severely suggest that you look into the example of John Andrew Ford that I gave just before. He's basically the reason you have a weekend, because he started providing 2 days of holiday after the 5 days of work, rather than 1 day, which was just a Sunday, after the 6 days, which was normal. And it turned out that the better rested employees were better workers, and so he had a more productive company because of it. And other companies started copying. Right? That's pretty common. If you're an employer and you want to get the best work out of your employees, you're going to have to give them okay conditions. They've got to be well rested and shit like that. And in addition, if you've got a lot of competition, a lot of other companies who are looking for that work, granted, if you have a lot of business regulations, there won't be that much competition. But assuming that there is competition, then all those other companies are going to have to try to provide the best working conditions they can so that they can get the best workers.
Mm.
I mean, why aren't you paying minimum wage?
Because it's not a good living wage.
Why? Okay, so you're not greedy? Is that what it is?
Well, I mean, you could say that, I guess.
Are most employers greedy?
Yes.
Okay, why do most employers not pay minimum wage?
But they do.
They don't. Very, very small percentage of people in any Western countries on minimum wage. Look it up right now.
I'm
single digits.
I think, asking a drunk to look
single
it up
digits
is a little
less.
hard.
I can Google.
Google away, my friend. Yeah, go for it. I don't know what it is in Canada, but it's single digits everywhere I've checked.
See.
Again, what does this have to do with child porn?
Nothing, because children can't consent.
Oh, yeah,
What if it's a child star in Hollywood?
Oh, that's a good point. Like the Olsen twins.
22% of men and 32% of women are working at minimum wage, it looks like.
In Canada?
Yeah.
Wow, that is the highest I've ever heard.
I'm gonna have. I mean, I don't know how much I trust that source. Don't quote me.
That sounds like garbage, actually, to be honest.
Yeah.
But
it's not a .gov. I'm looking for a .gov because that's
okay. Give me a good source. But okay, that's the highest I've ever seen. But even if that's the case, if that's the case, Canada is a fucking hellhole. But because oh my god, that can't possibly be true. Because, in America, it's single digits. In New Zealand, it's single digits. In Australia, it's single digits. In Canada, if it's 20-something,
I'm on
that's
a .gov.
insane.
I'm on a .gov right now, and I'm looking at distribution of employees at minimum wage, 2013, and the last one is 1997. 1997's numbers was 40.8% of men and 59.2% of women.
That seems
employees
impossible.
At minimum wage. I'll send you the link right now. Or maybe I'm reading.
It.
I might be reading it wrong because I'm drunk. Like for real.
That sounds like it must be the case.
Look, you also have to remember that Canada is a magical place where apparently the impossible happens and no one is happy.
Like
if Canada is on 40% minimum wage, then that is the worst country in the world.
But they're friendly.
Well, to an extent.
We're super nice. We're super nice.
No, 42. No, that's you are reading it wrong. So they're saying here the overall minimum wage rate was between 42 and 49% of the average hourly earnings, which means the average earner earns more than double the minimum wage.
Sorry.
Because
wait, what?
The minimum wage is between 42 and 49% of average hourly earnings. That means that the average person earns more than double minimum wage.
Okay, sorry. The chart I'm looking at says distribution of employees at minimum wage. It says at minimum wage. Scroll down.
Okay, here we go. Between 1997 and 2013, the proportion of employees paid a minimum wage increased from 5 to 6.7%. So currently, at least in 2013, it was 6.7% of employees were at minimum wage. Why is it so low?
Which is almost 42% when you think about it.
Well, if you look next
the
to
average
it, right?
employee. So, Little Miss Anonymous, the average employee earns more than double minimum wage. Only single-digit percentage points in every Western country that I've looked into, and now there's another one for the list, has been at single-digit percentage points in terms of minimum wage. Mm-hmm. Why? Why aren't all these greedy employers, why are they paying more than they have to?
I don't know.
Because if they don't, someone else will take those employees. The employees have a choice where to work, and they are going to work for who's going to offer them the most for their efforts. I mean, maybe they'll also take into account whether they like the people there, but primarily, who's going to give them the most money for their efforts. And that's the case minus minimum wage, as is the case. I mean, minimum wage doesn't make any difference for the vast majority of people as it is, right? Mm-hmm. Right, 93% of people in Canada, the minimum wage will not affect them at all.
Well, yeah, most of them don't work.
No, 93% of, workers in America.
Workers.
Yeah, the minimum wage won't affect them at all because they're not earning it. They're earning above that anyway. And of the few percentages of people who are earning minimum wage, what about the people who actually want to earn slightly lower than minimum wage? And the reason they might do that is because they know that they actually can't provide value to their company at the minimum wage, right? That they don't have experience, they don't have skills, they can't provide much value. They want to sort of work their way up, so they would want to start at a lower wage. Those people cannot get that job because it's illegal for them to do so.
I actually just saw something interesting. As of apparently September 2016, the average Canadian wage was $952 a week.
Okay.
That's a lot. That's a lot. That's a lot.
Well,
here.
is that because that might have something to do with the fact that the minimum wage was increased to $15 an hour?
That hasn't happened yet.
It hasn't? I thought it did. I thought it happened
in 2016.
I bet when it increases, the average wage drops, actually. Because
we could watch
if a company, you should watch that, because I don't know if it'll actually drop, but it will at least slow down its increase. If it's already on an increase, it might continue the increase, but it'll at least slow down. And it kind of has to when you think about it, because a company only has so much money, and it's distributing that money to the shareholders so that the shareholders will keep investing, to the employees so the employees will keep working, to the products, to the suppliers who supply them with the things they need to do business, right? And if one of those goes up, they don't just magically get more money, right? So let's say the people
Everything
working at the lowest rung, if the people at the lowest rung, their pay goes up, they have to get their money from somewhere, right? And the usual place is by reducing the wages of some people who are a little bit above minimum wage. Mm-hmm. So I want to bet that the minimum wage change in Canada slows down or puts in the other direction the trajectory of the average wages.
It's actually really hard to even gauge this Canada-wide because minimum wage is different per province too. Like as an example, Alberta's minimum wage is a lot higher, and they pay a lot more for a lot more menial jobs, and they have a lot. I would move there tomorrow.
Oh God!
They don't pay medical services premium, which only BC does, which sucks. Shut up, Samaj.
I don't know too much about Canada. Wait, Alberta, isn't that where the honey badgers are?
No, they're in Saskatchewan.
I thought a couple of them were in Alberta.
Oh yeah, I mean Karen Strong's here. I've actually met her a couple times completely by accident.
Oh yeah, I forgot. There we go.
Stalker. Samaj is a stalker.
I'm a stalker. Absolutely. I'll leave her alone when she tells me the name of her erotic novel.
But do you have the merch? That's what I want to ask.
The only I did grab the first 3 issues of Allison's graphic novel. So Xenospora, yeah.
Xenospora, yeah.
Yeah,
I haven't said it for a while, but you're a filthy whore.
Who, me?
No, Danny over there, Honey Badger's whore.
Oh, I love me some honey badgers, man. They're a great channel. You know what I've noticed about the honey badgers?
What?
If you watch anti-feminist channels, just in general, every now and then you see, like, very gradually, you see the honey badger up by them. I swear, like every argument I've heard an anti-feminist make has been originally said by an MRA, usually the honey badgers.
That doesn't surprise me. I mean, a lot of the talking points, I mean, the honey badgers will talk about for quite a while.
Yeah. Actually, often it's stolen from Bane here, to be honest.
Well, I put up a video today which has an argument debunking Black Lives Matter, which I think is going to be used a lot from now on. So
you're the worst.
Yeah. I don't know if you've seen it yet, but
I haven't seen it yet. No, I haven't actually watched any YouTube videos today.
I get the feeling that argument might spread a bit.
It probably will. I find that, like, when MRAs make an argument, that means, anti-feminists will be making this argument in 6 months.
But we're just like feminists, remember?
Well, what I've noticed is that there's a common trend of feminist response videos going down. People are not as involved in it.
Response videos.
Well,
yeah, I mean,
I know, but it has to burst at some point.
It does.
Yeah. And what will be left is the same MRAs that were here before it.
Well,
hey, I get to be an egalitarian and still.
And I get to be an anti-egalitarian.
I hate you. Get out.
I'm an anarcho-capitalist anti-egalitarian. How do you like that?
What the fuck is that word salad?
I think there should be no government. Everything should be controlled by businesses, and egalitarianism is garbage.
Let Samaj finish. He was trying to make a point.
Sorry, Samaj.
You can't talk over drunk people.
You two will go on for another 20 minutes if I let you.
Yes,
true enough. I mean, the only thing I was going to say is that all the kind of stuff, like we've dealt with this before a long time ago with second wave feminism and how that was going around there. And what happened is that society eventually went against it. It's no longer popular. Just like right now, it's no longer popular. But just like before, what ends up happening is that they get more quiet. They go off into the corners, but they'll still do things like teach people in academia. They'll still be in Hollywood. They'll still be in all these areas here. They just won't be as loud and vocal as they used to be before. And which means in the next wave of feminism, which will probably happen, it'll probably be even worse than what it is now.
I think it spread a lot more than second wave. Second wave was more a smaller group, which were more hardcore. Now it's diluted itself throughout the community, and I don't think it's going anywhere in a hurry, to be honest.
Smaller, angrier, and man-hatier.
Yeah. Well, I think it was. I don't think it was ever as big as it was made out to be. I think it was more popular.
No, but I mean, the number of people who believe that the wage gap is real, and I'm not talking just about feminists, but the number of people who believe the wage gap is real, that men have always had the right to vote, but women have just got the right to vote. I mean,
no, poor people couldn't vote.
Hey,
poor people couldn't vote.
Yeah, I mean, cavemen couldn't vote either.
It was landowners that got to vote. Landowners,
including,
and there were some women of those.
Yes,
that was a little bit of history that was sort of swept under the rug.
Everything from history swept under the rug because it doesn't suit the fucking narrative.
Yeah, so there's
exactly.
all these myths which have gone public, gone general, not just in feminist circles, and I think it will take a while to get rid of them.
It will, like things like World War II have become deeply politicized, and it's really muddied the waters over what the truth was over something like that. For instance, you can grab a book on World War II and then grab a completely different book, and they'll both say completely different things. The end result would be, of course, that the Nazis lost, but everything in between could be fucking mulled.
Do you want to know something incredibly hilarious?
Yes.
They found out that Hitler was a socialist, so they just keep getting very upset, saying Hitler wasn't as bad as Stalin, and it's hilarious.
Oh, God.
They literally adopted Hitler didn't do nothing, and they're using it for realsies.
What, wasn't Hitler an MRA? Didn't he go to high school with Elliot Rodger? I can't remember.
Oh man, Elliot Rodger.
He's my favorite.
Elliot Rodger's my favorite MRA.
Yeah.
Hey, fuck you, that was my joke.
Article, you realize that? It's
Probably.
going to be in a BuzzFeed article tomorrow.
Are you
Prominent
kidding?
MRA leader admits Elliot Rodger was an MRA.
You should
I'm
consider
a
yourself
prominent MRA leader, yeah.
Yeah, prominent MRA New Zealand leader who is pro-rape and good friends with Roosh V admits Elliot Rodger was an
Emma, wait,
MRA.
I just realized something.
Yep.
I just realized something. Am I the most popular New Zealand MRA?
I'd say on YouTube. I can't think
I
of
don't know,
it.
Tim.
Holy shit, I am! What the fuck?
Definitely Tim.
Well, what have you done to screen the red pill in New Zealand? You're not doing your job.
I didn't screen. I don't even consider myself like an MRA leader or anything. I just think that men should probably have rights.
No!
What? You actually think? What? Do you actually think men should have foreskins? That's such a backwards way of thinking. Don't
Okay,
you know?
you know
I
what?
know.
Samaj, you can't make me cry on stream. That's not allowed. Don't do that.
No, in New Zealand, circumcision's pretty rare anyway.
You'd be
I
surprised.
read an
you know?
article. I read an article by a New Zealand journalist who went to an MRA like meetup conference thing in New Zealand, and he started off the article by saying, these guys claim to be MRAs, but they're not real MRAs because they do more than scream at women on the internet or something like that.
They're not real MRAs because they too much A-ing for M's R's.
Yes.
What?
That wasn't the exact quote. I'm going from memory, but it was along those lines.
Your memory is great.
It was along those lines.
I like your memory better than the article, I bet. Your recollection's much better than the original source material.
I've seen a couple of those articles where a journalist has turned up to an MRA meeting or conference, or actually I was at one of them. The journalist was sitting next to me, undercover journalist. So
Shit.
yeah, that was 2014, I think.
Wait, so they saw your like IRL face?
Yeah.
You have an IRL face?
I've seen his IRL face.
Have you? I have never.
She's one of the few.
I'm the favorite friend. That's why.
Oh, I see how it is now, Bane. I see.
You can fight me IRL for the IRL face. I got public health care, so when you beat the shit out of me, I'll be fine. I'll get free stitches.
I do too. Don't worry. It's just like, I will sit in line for the 14 hours it takes to get health care. Public health care.
I've never spent more than 5 hours in a hospital.
Yeah, but I did turn up to an MRA meeting in Melbourne, and there was an undercover journalist sitting next to me.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, and he wrote an article. The way I found out about it was I was listening to the Honey Badgers, and I heard them say, an undercover journalist turned up at an MRA meeting. And I thought, gee, that's pretty fucked. And then they said, in Melbourne. And I thought, oh, I should go find that article. And it was the guy sitting next to me.
Damn.
You do realize you probably just...
He clearly went there hoping to find a group of angry guys saying, oh, women are shit, blah, blah, blah. He didn't find that. What he found was a group of men talking about issues, and some of them were talking about their own issues. Like there was a guy there who hadn't seen his kids in years, right? So the way he wrote the article was, they're sad, lonely men who are, who have issues, but they're blaming society or some shit. You know, so it's now our fault anyway. You know, so
Jesus.
But you know, don't we hear all the time about men not expressing their emotions? So when we we talk about our issues, we're shamed for it by the very people.
Wait. Let me see if I can word salad. Your man, children, virgins, crybaby pussies.
Yeah.
Close?
Yeah, who don't express their emotions for some reason.
How dare you? How dare you not cry, you crybaby?
Rice. I had the same. I went to in Australia. I went to a libertarian conference in Sydney, and yeah, there was the very next day, in the press, it was, I don't know. They characterized us as a bunch of Nazis. Basically, it was pretty bad. I kind of think the Australian press actually might be the worst. But if you see the way they reacted to the Red Pill movie, it's way worse than anywhere else. The Australian press is just garbage.
Oh, I have a whole bunch. I have all of the comments from that petition saved still.
From the petition to get the Red Pill banned.
I was intending to make a video about a year ago where people read out the comments from the petition. I actually went through and saved them all. But
hey, I did that. Don't even take. I saved every single comment.
Oh, you did, but I saved.
And then I sent them to you.
Yeah, no, I cut out about 300 of them before you did that. But then you went and you saved the whole lot as well. So
it was a group effort.
It was a group, because I'd already done that for a video. I'd used some of them in a video, but I wanted to do a video where different people read out the comments, and I started it, but I never finished it for some reason.
Because men don't need any more excuses.
Yeah, some of the comments were amazing. That's the article in the side chat, by the way, Danny.
Oh, yeah?
These men complain about feminism.
I infiltrated a men's rights group. These men need a support group more than they need a movement.
I've seen this.
Yes, this is the cunt who was sitting next to me.
This is garbage, man.
It's offensive and degrading. Never seen it, but it's offensive.
I love the opening sentence. I, like most people I know, am indignant at the very idea of a men's rights activist. Jesus Christ.
It's like they think they're virtue signaling. It's like, no, a men's rights activist group isn't really a bad thing. I don't know. Speaking of all this, I don't know if you guys know that. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I just thought I'm just looking at the article. I'm sorry to cut you off there. Okay. If you've ever had a friend with some unusual ideas about Jews, then just imagine them talking about women rather than the chosen people, and you get the tone. Fuck me.
I'm reading it right now. What is this?
This is just someone shat onto their keyboard and just uploaded it.
Evil man babies. Little man babies. Yes.
Yeah, that's me to a T, yes.
You're a MGTOW. You're the worst of the evil man babies.
I am not a MGTOW, you dumb bitch.
I mean, how long has it been since you had sex?
9 years, but who's counting?
Clearly her.
You're a MGTOW by accident.
Oh.
Yeah, what's it called? Involuntary celibacy.
Yeah, kind of. Well, it's voluntary, but that's only because I live in Canada.
Yeah, well, there are a lot of feminists there, so that does cut down your options.
Well, you keep sending us all yours.
Yeah, the saddest part is that like Alberta is probably the most conservative province. It used to be, I guess, and feminism was the least likely to thrive here. It's thriving like crazy here, and part of me is thinking it's because there's a lot of like environmental activists, and they all happen to be liberal, and a lot of them are feminists.
Does this mean I can stop shaving my legs because I'm Canadian?
No. You have to keep shaving your legs because you're a woman.
Hey, that was the patriarchy at work. 2 men telling me I can't stop shaving my legs.
Correct. The patriarchy requires you to shave your legs, woman. Jesus Christ.
And I think I enjoy the smoothness of clean-shaven legs more than Master Anonymous does. I think most women do, and if they don't, they're lying to themselves.
To be honest, though, if women wanted men to shave their legs, men would absolutely do it.
Well, there are men who wax their entire bodies. That's become like a popular thing in the last 10 and 20 years, hasn't it? I mean, I've never done it, but
it's called manscaping.
Oh yeah, do you have some rash? Do you need like some ointment? Are you okay?
No,
I would do that honestly, but as far as I can tell, girls prefer dudes to be fuzzy.
Yeah, they do.
If I drop out for a second, guys, I'll come
woman,
back. Hold on a second. I've just got an issue here.
It does depend on the woman as far as what she's going to say she likes, but
does that mean?
I think most women don't mind a little body hair. Like, it's not necessarily a prefer or disprefer. I think most women just don't care as long as you don't have back hair, which I don't understand either. What's wrong with back hair?
If you've got back hair, you're just a monkey.
That's the worst. What is wrong? What's with all the back hair hate? Do you got women got something against lumberjack men or something?
No, just back hair is gross.
It is not.
If I met a dude with back hair, I would.
Well, you're not going to fuck him, obviously.
I might. I might. I'm not saying I won't.
He might. I don't know.
I've gone in that direction occasionally.
Rather judged by your dislike of back hair. What is with all the back hair?
I'm sorry, I didn't realize.
I do. I'm very triggered. I'm very upset by this. When they cut out part of my cervix, I started growing hair in all sorts of weird places, and you shouldn't judge me.
She's 1/4 Sasquatch.
Right. Okay.
It's a Canadian thing. Don't judge it.
Sasquatch pride.
I'm really upset now. I don't think we can be friends anymore.
That's why she's got such big feet.
I actually don't have big feet. That's a terrible thing to say.
Oh, you didn't get your Sasquatch gene from your parents then?
No.
Don't look at me. I might be the ape in the room, but I didn't do it.
Are you my dad? Because that's very upsetting. No, you don't do enough heroin to be my dad.
No.
Is she joking? Is she not? Who knows?
I don't know. I mean,
So Marge should have said at that point, "Who's your daddy?" But
I set him up for it, and he dropped the ball.
I know.
We should all be really disappointed. We need a new co-host.
It has been 9 years, so
you're fired.
It's been a while. I have an excuse. I haven't gotten laid in years. Oh, whoa.
The Burning Witch knows what it's all about. She says she dated a guy covered in hair everywhere for 7 years. Best sex ever. See, all this back hair hating, it's fucking bullshit.
If you get a guy with back hair, you know he doesn't give a fuck. And so
exactly, he's gonna give you the best fuck. He's gonna give all his fucks to you.
He's not worried about what he thinks.
Imagine what she's like when she's drunk.
That's what you should call this show.
Imagine what she's like when she's drunk.
Well, it's probably better it's probably better than some of the other options, considering we've been talking about Amos.
Oh no, come on! The very first one we talked about barbecuing and eating placenta, and we can't get through a single one without it coming up.
That was volume 1. Episode 1 and 2 and episode 3.
Actually, wait a minute. Don't Scottish people literally do that? Isn't there like placenta in haggis? Am I wrong?
I don't think it's placenta.
It was human placenta what we were talking about specifically.
Yeah, I don't think they put placenta in haggis. I think it's a sheep's stomach.
It is stomach, yes.
Stuff with
stomach.
Yeah, stuff
it's
with.
Close enough.
But it's stuffed with the other organs.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
it's gross.
Placenta is when an animal is pregnant. You don't normally have a placenta just hanging around. Well, normal people don't.
Do you keep one?
I don't know.
Just on hand?
Yeah, I keep one all the time.
He's got his own placenta.
Yeah.
Fucking
It's in a
Danny over there
plastic
with
bag in the
his
fridge.
fucking placenta farm. And look, we have another
Placenta.
awesome name for a strip club.
Placenta farm.
Placenta farm? What?
Oh God. Okay, now
That sounds hot.
you know. I don't know if anybody outside of Canada would have ever heard of the Pikmin farm, but everybody in Canada knows about the Pikmin farm. Unless Samaj is going to
Pikmin.
prove me
You
wrong.
mean like the video game?
Sounds like a
No,
horror movie. or something.
Pikmin. Oh yeah, I guess there's
Yeah,
a video game.
Pikmin.
Pikmin, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you
It's a
hear?
good game, actually.
Do you remember that? It is a good game. Do you remember that the farm though, Samaj? It was all over the
No.
news. Oh fuck!
Well, hold on. Maybe I do.
They were feeding the remains of the victims, which were hookers, to the pigs, slaughtering the pigs, selling the meat to the local populace.
Actually, yeah, I do remember this.
There you go. See, don't make a liar out of me.
I wasn't going to. It's just that I need to hear the details.
Yeah,
because
they were.
In addition to not getting laid, I'm also dyslexic. So.
Essentially, everybody in my province and probably a little bit of Alberta has eaten pig that has eaten people.
Huh.
And
Does that mean they've eaten people?
Well, it kind of does. I would say so because whatever, like, I don't know if you've ever had game before, but wild game tastes of what it eats.
Huh.
A little bit to an
Oh,
extent.
wait. But if a human dies, then he's eaten by worms, which it turns into dirt, which is
It goes through a few
like,
people.
goes through it goes through like plants, which is eaten by animals, which humans then eat.
We've all eaten
Yeah.
everything. We've all eaten everything by that logic, but it's very close when you're directly eating the thing that was eating people.
And and if you have sex with a cucumber, is that necrophilia?
Yes.
Yes. Yes,
Absolutely,
that is
100%.
officially. In fact, let's arrest everyone who's had sex with a cucumber.
if someone
Melma starts blushing.
Look, here's a weird question. If someone had sex with their clone, is it technically masturbation?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I'm going to say no, because I think you're a different person from your clone.
Okay, but what if you come back from the future and give yourself a blowjob?
Well, what?
I'm still waiting. I'm still waiting for that scenario to happen on Star Trek. So,
okay, so that one I'd say it's still not masturbation. But what about this one?
no, it'll be a blowjob.
What if you get a portal gun and you put a portal in front of you and a portal just below you, and then you like lean into the portal and suck your own dick?
Well, that's
definitely masturbation.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
yeah.
So we found the line. Portal gun masturbation.
Well, I mean, if you're, if you remove the idea of
cucumbers.
Somebody in the chat goes, "It's a bit gay."
a bit. I mean, granted,
No.
Is it gay when you touch your own
That is
dick?
the least. Yeah, I know. Oh my god, I've given so many guys hand jobs.
And we have that on tape.
Dicks all kind of look the same.
That's
so.
going in the trailer.
Oh god.
Are you gonna do a trailer for Volume 2? Please do.
I wasn't going to, but after that, I might have to.
Bastard.
You've done gone and embarrassed the shit out of yourself now, haven't you?
Oh man, I'm so lucky I don't have any shame.
You can't have any shame and come here.
That's true.
Giggity.
I don't think we've invited anyone with any shame.
Wasn't the last stream?
Wait.
Wasn't the last stream when we had what's her name, Harlequin, and she was talking about all her orgasms and whatnot.
Yeah, that was a pretty tame stream, really.
It was actually.
Yeah.
Considering. Oh fuck. Which stream was it? We had Kevin Logan on. I think he had shame, and I think we done raped it.
I don't think I've ever talked to Kevin Logan, actually.
You know, the funny thing is about Kevin Logan, and I've been on, I think, 3 streams with him, and I've asked him about this because he used one of my pictures I drew of Sargon in his thumbnail, and I asked him about that, and each and every time he always says, "Who are you? Do I even know you?"
Yeah, I remember that because we brought it up on that stream.
Yeah, 3. Like him and I have been on 3 streams, and I always bring it up on each and every one, and he always says, "Who are you? I don't know you." No, but you used my work.
I mean, you stole my art, man, but it's fine.
Yeah. Although to be fair, I don't know if I really want to be credited in a Kevin Logan stream or chat or video.
Still, though, it's your fucking art.
Yeah. Of course, I didn't get on Mr. Dapperton's case when he used my art in one of his thumbnails.
But you like him.
No, I don't.
Double standard.
I love Dapperton. Dapperton's amazing.
Oh, that's because he's one of your kind.
Yeah, that's exactly why.
A dirty anarchist. Ugh.
Fucking anarchist.
Yeah.
Ugh. It's dead on
At
the
least with the right kind of anarchist.
Yeah, that's
There's a
what you
right
think.
kind of anarchist.
Well, the
No.
difference
Yeah,
between
that's
The answer is no.
we could be. Hey, imagine we were anarcho-communists.
I'm a sociopath and I'm proud.
Any kind of communist has got to be a sociopath. Let's be honest.
Any kind of anarchist is a fucking sociopath.
Yeah, stupid anarchists not liking theft was sociopathy.
Me and mine, get off my roads. I totally built those.
No, I didn't. So you don't have to get after them. I'm not sure where you're going with this.
That was a little joke about the government building roads.
Yeah, we don't want the government to build roads.
Yeah, no, you just want people to have to pay tolls to people that are greedy and fucking own them all.
No, we want the roads to be built the same way they're built currently in like gated communities and shit.
I have to
I
stop
don't
and
have
wonder.
faith in human compassion the way you do.
You don't know. It's not compassion. It's like, I want a road, so I'll pay for a fucking road. It already happens now. I don't understand how people don't get this. It currently happens.
I would imagine that a anarchist truck driver is very triggered.
Get off my lawn!
Like, in a gated community, right, where the roads are owned and paid for privately.
Oh, I don't want to play
Why
this
don't you
game
have all
again,
of,
I'm too
why
drunk.
don't you currently have why don't you currently have all of the crazy problems that people say anarchy should have when the roads are privately owned? Why don't you have them currently where roads are privately owned?
I
Where
don't think
we're
anyone's.
privately owned.
You don't think there would be
In
any
gated
issues
communities.
anywhere?
I think that there's issues. There's issues now. Like, potholes don't get fixed
Wait.
and shit.
You mean gated communities like the one I live in where they don't upkeep the fucking roads and there's holes in them everywhere?
I mean, maybe you live in one of those, but you gotta admit that the gated communities on average keep up roads a shitload better than the government.
It depends on on
Yeah.
the area and the general
It really does.
income. I mean,
lot
I've
of-
seen.
Actually, wait. A lot of gated communities, they own the strata. They own a lot of gated communities, and they'll look after the ones that are more profitable to them. And
Yeah,
sort of like the government does with slums.
right. So, at worst, it's no worse than the government when...
I just agreed with you. Don't get on my case. I ran out of alcohol.
Slowly but surely, I will make you an ANCAP.
No, I'm far too much of a humanitarian for that.
You're a
I'm a
humanitarian,
dirty-
so you
I'm-
want to
I'm-
steal people's shit? That doesn't seem
Yeah, I do.
humanitarian to me.
I want to steal people's shit and spread the fucking wealth because I like everybody to be happy because I live in gumtrop lollipop land.
I want
I
everyone
just
to be happy too. That's why I don't want to destroy the economy.
I just want to have a working army.
I
and
want
not
to be
have worry
dead
about the
before everything
independent-
goes to shit. Is that okay?
Yeah, no, you'll be in luck. You'll be dead before the sun goes out. I'm sure.
Sweet. I'm good.
In fact-
then.
In fact, you'll be dead before the Andromeda galaxy comes in and collides with us.
I would
it'll
go
be-
full blown nihilist before I went anarchist.
Wait,
Yeah,
I am a
Nihilist.
nihilist.
Oh, yeah, well, fuck the world, fuck everything. Who gives a shit about anything then?
Nihilism is correct. That doesn't mean you don't care about anything.
God damn it.
Like just because like you can't know anything 100% doesn't mean there's nothing's worth caring about.
Just because I think everything's gonna rot away and die forever doesn't mean I don't care about it in the first place.
Right. That was perfectly valid. Yeah. How did you say that and think that sounded silly? Like, yes, stuff has a limited lifespan, but I care about it now.
Maybe
Right?
it's because if you try to talk to anybody that has clinical depression's gonna laugh at you for that.
So me?
You have clinical depression and you don't think that's horrible?
I think lots of things are horrible, but it doesn't mean it's
everything
not worth caring
apparently.
About. It doesn't mean it's not worth caring about. Like, do you think that just because something won't last forever, it's not worth caring about at all?
Normally, yeah.
That's pretty fucked up. Like
it's depressing, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I don't understand why someone with clinical depression would believe that. Surely that is not productive.
That's why there's medication to fix it.
Oh my god. The stream is getting gradually worse. Like, it's just getting to the point where eventually we're going to be writing bad poetry and singing simple plan songs.
Oh, can we do that? Can we do that?
No. I'm thinking.
That's what I had planned for like the 5th hour. So can we just move up the schedule a bit?
All I'm thinking about
what
now.
It's like to be like me.
We can be friends again now. No, really. All I'm thinking about is fucking Nietzsche when the last day he stopped speaking.
You want to fuck Nietzsche? He's been dead hundreds of years.
No. I said I keep thinking about Nietzsche, and the last day he stopped speaking.
I'm pretty sure you said you think about fucking Nietzsche.
Yeah, you did. So.
Did I?
Yeah.
Oh, it was
the moustache. I know.
It is. Well, I mean, it looks like you could put things on it and they would stay there. He probably gives a mean hummer.
Holy shit! Yeah, that's true.
So if he came back in time and gave himself a hand job.
But really, does anybody but me know about what happened when he stopped speaking the last time he spoke?
No, I don't know anything about it. Story time.
He witnessed severe animal abuse to a horse, and he walked up and hugged the horse and wept, and then never spoke again until he died.
Oh, poor horse.
I know.
And then his sister used his writings as Nazi propaganda.
It's true. That is the worst. While he was sitting in her care, yes. You did know, Bane, you fucking liar. You just wanted me to tell the story.
God damn.
At least I don't want to fuck him.
I said fucking Nietzsche. Not I would like to fuck Nietzsche. There's a difference in
it's on tape.
Fuck is a very malleable word. It can be used in many different ways. And I reject your.
I know what you're talking about. Many different ways.
Yeah, that's right. I did say he probably gives a mean hummer. Come on. I mean, I may as well run with it now. You're going to do it to me anyway.
And I think we have the name of the stream.
He gives a mean hummer?
Nietzsche
gives a mean hummer.
Nietzsche gives a mean hummer. I like that. It's catchy.
But he won't, because it's pointless in the end. Your orgasm doesn't mean anything.
So, that's actually a thing. I just want to quickly say about Nietzsche, in all seriousness, the whole point of all his philosophy was that nihilism doesn't mean you need to be depressed about it. Right? Nihilism is correct, but let's move on and try to find the meaning in the meaninglessness.
Until he saw somebody beat the crap out of a horse and he gave up on life.
Until I saw someone beat the crap out of a horse. But that's, to be fair, that's really sad.
Okay, so every time I witness animal abuse, I should rock in a corner and just cry forever. Because that happens on the internet every day.
Why do I feel like that one Papa Roach song is inspired by Nietzsche? You know, that cut my life into pieces.
Nietzsche would love our emo music.
Yeah, probably.
Nietzsche would fucking bitch slap all of the emos who quote him because the entire point of his philosophy was like, yes, nihilism is correct, but don't be depressed. And all these people use him and his writings as a reason to be depressed about nihilism.
I don't have the right hair to be an emo kid. I'm sorry.
Okay, change the name of the stream.
Nietzsche gives a mean Hummer.
It's a little bit more complex than that, but anyway.
Well, let's see. I'm just gonna emo fringe myself.
Not quite. It's not long enough or black enough for that.
You have like
talking about?
You look like the bad boy in a boy band.
Oh, you're talking about his hair. Sorry.
Yeah. Do you have any shoe
Wait,
polish
long and
around?
black. What were you thinking of?
I don't know.
Is God really dead if Nietzsche gives a mean Hummer?
Yes. I think the answer to that is yes. God is found within Nietzsche's Hummer.
This sounds like clickbait for Jordan Peterson.
We need a good thumbnail, Samaj.
How the fuck am I gonna tackle that?
Oh,
I ain't
come
gonna
on.
tackle that.
Come on.
You need a Nietzsche with a baby anon in his arms.
No.
So, Tucci says in chat, haha, I totes that she was talking about Danny's dick. What?
What?
You're gonna have to explain. You're gonna have to explain that, Tucci.
He's not black.
Well, his dick might be. You don't know where it's been.
Dude, getting green is a hell.
He mightn't have washed it in a while.
Oh shit!
Don't know.
Is it circumcised? Because then it's still clean.
No, yeah,
Maybe,
still clean.
he has some.
Even if it's covered in poop, it's still clean.
It's
That's how it
true.
works.
Maybe he has some fetish with paint or something. You don't know.
Okay, so he said thought. Oh, right. I totes thought she was talking about Danny's dick. She was talking about his hair, but, like, thought she was talking about his long black dick. Okay.
Why do you think he has a long black dick? Are you fantasizing about some things? Do you want to talk about it? I think he wants to talk about it.
Where does Danny keep his long black dick, though, is the question.
Which pant leg? The left or the right?
Oh. You'll never know. Oh, will you?
Well, at least we'll have some understanding about your mysterious third leg.
I mean, nobody's supposed to be wearing pants on this stream. That's how it fucking works. So.
Aren't I?
No, they're not allowed. Damn it, Bane! You didn't tell them the rules before you invited them. What the
I
fuck?
thought I did. I'm not wearing pants.
Yeah, see, yes, right. You're never wearing pants though.
No.
Well,
Which
you're
is great
Australia.
because I always get a bus seat to myself. So
Yeah, nobody wants to sit next to your bare thighs. They might stick to you.
Bering has bare thighs.
That's true.
No, Bering
Who's
has
Bear?
bare thighs.
That's what I said.
Bare thighs. Not
Yeah,
bare
bare
thighs.
thighs.
Yeah.
No, bare thighs, not bare thighs.
Bare thighs.
Bath eyes? What?
Bare thighs.
This is going downhill real fast.
Yep.
I think we had a serious conversation for about 20 minutes.
I can't wait
I
to
know.
see the subtitles for this hangout. The auto subtitles thing that does. That's gonna be
That's
great.
gonna be
Please,
Yeah.
somebody put in the she totes talking about his dick though.
That sounds like a great title for a song.
It probably
She
exists.
totes talking about his dick, though. Yeah, that song exists.
Yeah, I'm sure it does.
It definitely
Let's see.
does.
She totes talking about his dick, though.
You gotta spell though THO.
Yeah, I done did that. No, because okay, but like talking maybe with an apostrophe. I'm sure the song exists, but no. Be toads talking about. Maybe it should be just about.
Maybe it's also maybe it's a YouTube song.
Maybe I can't find it. I can't find that song, unfortunately. I'm sorry.
I'm really disappointed. No, Google, don't try to correct my spelling.
You still use Google.
I do. I'm
DuckDuckGo all the way, my fam.
The Googers. I'm okay with the Google.
The DuckDuckGo. DuckDuckGo. DuckDuckGo never fired someone for talking about biology.
Just go to page 5 and you're fine.
Speaking of controversial figures, have you guys talked about the blue check mark mysteriously disappearing on?
Oh, who gives a fuck about Twitter?
Yeah, like there's someone I know who lost her verified mark. A trad wife, a purposeful wife, at a purposeful wife.
No.
I do.
Oh, okay. Well, she recently lost her Twitter verification, and she doesn't say anything particularly controversial. I mean, she's kind of pro-white, but not in like a Richard Spencery way, just in kind of a like I like to bake cookies and love my white babies kind of way. You know, it's just like the most.
Well, it is okay to be white.
No, it's not.
Yeah, she's the most. She is the most uncontroversial white nationalist you ever met. But she got de-verified recently, and I'm not entirely sure why. But I found that several Twitter accounts saying "kill all white people," and they are still verified.
That's
funny
what I was just saying. Who gives a fuck about Twitter? They're fucking stupid. This isn't new.
Yeah, it's not new.
So should we talk about the "it's okay to be white" thing?
No, because that's horrible too.
Well,
it is okay to be white.
What kind of mundane
Steve
shit?
thinks that it's racist to say that.
I want him to die. And it's not because he's white, it's because he's an asshole.
I think that honestly it's okay to be white though.
Card, isn't it? It is. It's okay to be any shade.
It's okay to be white though is actually a fantastic project by 4chan, right? Like because I think they exposed sort of the mainstream media and how anti-white they tend to be.
Yeah, exactly.
Because they're if you're going to respond to just it's okay to be X, and you say that's terrible, how dare you say that? Clearly, you think it's not okay to be X.
It's okay to be a pedophile.
It's a secret racist message.
Yes.
When they say it's okay to be white, what they're saying is it's really only okay to be white.
You know what I would like to know?
Only, yes.
You know, another experiment. I'd like to see that thrown in with a whole bunch of other races and see if it gets equally as triggered.
Well, myself and a bunch of my Twitter friends all also tweeted out it's okay to be black, it's okay to be Hispanic, it's okay to be Asian, and all those different things with every race you can name. And no one gives a shit.
What I mean is all at the same time. On that same piece of paper, put white, black, Hispanic, Asian, all those other races all together and see if white people get singled out as bullshit or if it's just because there was a bunch of signs that said it's okay to be white.
Well, here's I think if you put them all together, it maybe would be considered more acceptable because it would confront people with their hypocrisy too strongly if they oppose it.
Well, that's the point. I would like to see that.
But if you just put up one saying it's okay to be black, I don't think people would have a significant issue.
Oh no, not likely. No, we already see that with Black Lives Matter, and then how upset people get when you say all lives matter, which is everybody. That's not an okay thing to say.
Right. If someone says it's okay to be white, and someone responds to, well, it's okay to be any race, I'd say, yeah, correct, good.
I think most people would until you went including white people.
Right, but but for Black Lives Matter, it's different because they say Black Lives Matter, and you say, "Well, yeah, all lives matter." Racist.
Yeah.
Right. That's the issue. It's
like
when you start being exclusive.
when you start actually including everybody, somehow you're actually being exclusive because, you know.
I do understand it to some extent, actually. So the Black Lives Matter thing, it's because they were trying to raise awareness about black people being shot by police. And they think that if you're saying all lives matter, it's like, well, we don't disagree. The better ones say this. We don't disagree that all lives matter. It's just, but we're trying to raise awareness about the fact that black people are unfairly targeted by police.
Can I correct you there, Danny?
Yeah, I know it's false.
It's not black people who are being unfairly targeted. It's men who are being unfairly targeted. Well, who are being targeted.
It's white people.
No,
I'm not kidding.
No, it's men in general.
I think it's men in general. It is absolutely men, but
yeah.
I just want to point out that if you, I have gone through stats on this because I was trying very hard to see the Black Lives Matter point of view, and I did for a bit, because if you grant that black people are more likely to be shot by police, which isn't really true, but if you grant that, then it makes sense that you want Black Lives Matter, because it's like, hey, these racist cops are shooting black people, but let's raise awareness about it. Fair enough. But in actual fact, in America, black people, they commit more crime, right? It's an uncontroversial fact, and that means they're going to have more interactions with the police. On an interaction-by-interaction basis, cops are more willing to shoot white people than black people.
Yeah, I think their argument for that is that it's discrimination, that they're not actually committing more crimes. It's systematic racism. Well, yeah, that's what they're saying. It is systematic racism that is getting them convicted of crimes that they didn't necessarily commit.
Then how come it's always like, how come Asians don't get implicated in crimes?
Because it's just black people. They're Uncle Tom's Asians.
Except Asians in America, at least, are massively overrepresented in being charged for illegal gambling.
Oh, that's racist. Don't say that.
But like, my point is just like, if there were no differences and cops just wanted to arrest black people, you'd expect just any crime they could get them for. Yeah, black person must have done it. But no, it seems to follow kind of what we'd expect those various groups to commit.
That's racism. It's systemic racism.
Yes, racism is the answer to every problem in the world. It's like, why is this an issue? Because of racism.
And sexism. And ableism. And it is the oppression Olympics. And I would like the gold medal, please.
I
killed it.
I think we've been going for about 3 hours. Should we wrap it up soon?
No.
Okay. No. Little Miss is not drunk enough yet, apparently.
Oh no, I'm too drunk for everything now.
She's played drunk. She's just not able to stop.
Excuse me. I know when to stop.
Never is when.
I actually
when you run out.
I actually stopped drinking. Yeah, actually, that's true. I did run out, but I have more booze downstairs. My laziness is keeping me from getting more of it.
I have actually run out.
I'm disappointed in you. Good night, everybody.
Are you heading off now?
Sure.
Oh my god! Wow. How many have you had?
How many? I drank
20 bottle.
One bottle, actually. Yeah, that's pretty accurate.
All right. The ultimate lightweight.
Somebody can math for me. 28% alcohol, 750 milliliters. Figure it out.
Oh, that's significant, actually. That's not bad.
Oh, you were on the stream when I drank 2 bottles, 2 24-ounce bottles of Kraken. You're calling me a lightweight. Fuck you.
Well, do you want a competition at some point, love?
Dude, no! I drank Schmeckel under the table, that's enough.
Oh, no. That's it. Like, we've got to have the alcohol off.
Why do I gotta do it with everybody? Why can't I do it with the token drunk and be done?
You call Schmeckel a drunk.
Have you seen him?
Holy shit.
Yeah!
We gotta get you on the cunt stream.
I've been on the cunt stream once, but I didn't. I was on a holiday at the time, so I couldn't get that wasted because I had to do shit in the morning.
We can look when Schmeckel gets some money. We can see what we can do.
Right.
He doesn't want to face Schmeckel because I already drank him under the table once live on air. And he was there for that, but he seems to have selectively forgotten this fucking event. And I'm really upset about it because I felt like death the next day.
Wait, was I there?
Yes!
Oh, I have forgotten that.
It was the only cunt stream you've ever been on, and I drank him, and he's very upset about it.
Drunk, but, yeah.
Oh, fuck. I was drunker than I've been ever in a long time.
Well, Schmeckel was your
games,
first challenge.
Sir. I don't want to go to level 2. Level 2 sucks.
Now you reached the final boss.
Wait, you're the final boss? Bullshit. I would say Wizard of Cause is the final boss.
I actually, if you check the stream I was on with Wizard of Cause, I think you'll say otherwise.
You outdrank him?
As far as I could tell, yeah.
Wait, it all depends afterwards because we had stipulations. You were not allowed to go and vomit off stream.
I'm pretty sure I outdrank Randomacam as well, but I don't remember that. So I'm not entirely sure.
Nobody would remember that. Oh God, come on! I did it once. I think once is enough. Isn't it? I would like to not die. Like in all actuality, I'm a little bit allergic to alcohol. So the next day is not a hangover, it's a fibromyalgia meltdown and I cannot walk. It's not fun. I'd rather have a hangover because at least then I could be up.
That's what you think.
So wait, Tucci in the chat is saying super chat drink off.
No, don't encourage him.
That's the reason we gotta get the cunt stream up on subscribers.
What's a super chat drink off?
I'm guessing it involves people telling you to take shots with money.
Yep. They
pay you to drink. Oh man, yeah, that is my calling in life.
That is actually very one-sided because the chat can just decide, oh, I'm gonna target this one person and make them fucking plastered.
Oh, I don't know. Like you have to decide, like how much would you want per shot? Like $5 a shot?
Well, whatever anyone else is having. I want the maximum reward, the most amount of money possible.
I want all of the liquor all of the time.
I want all the liquor and all of the money, and this appears to be the way to get both.
You need to help out the cunt stream there. We'll get up the super chat, and we'll arrange something. We'll all fucking get drunk.
No,
which I'm not gonna do.
I already outdrank him on the cunt stream.
All right. You can bow out.
What is it? I can't even remember. Were they 2 6s? Fuck. I went and I bought specifically the same amount of booze he had, and I finished it and he didn't.
All right.
Because he's a vagina.
Yeah, he's not a proper drunk.
I put it in these skull jars. Took a picture of it. It was fancy. I drank out of a straw like a fucking lady.
That is pretty ladylike.
It's very ladylike. Do you know if you drink out of a straw, it makes you drunker faster?
It almost counteracts the mohawk that I can see there.
No, it doesn't.
I see almost.
I've earned my dyke points. Come on.
Look, just because I drew a picture of you looking very dykey doesn't make you a dyke.
You always draw me dykey, and I'm so okay with it.
I give you the most blowjob of blowjob lips, and you're like, no, I look like a dyke. Oh, god damn it.
But it's true. I proved it, didn't I? I let you see my face.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I've drawn pictures of you long before I ever saw your face. I was guessing everything.
It's true. You drew me with blowjob lips and very lesbianish. It's pretty accurate, actually. Minus the blowjob lips.
Yeah. Blowjob lips.
Well, that's killed the conversation.
Yeah, because I don't have blowjob lips. It's very disappointing.
Well, I can't tell. You've got your hand in front of your face.
I'm not going to change the way I draw you.
That's because she doesn't have any lips at all.
I don't actually. That's the thing. Actually, Schmeckle said that. Fucking asshole. He said I don't have lips at all. Like, fuck you. I'm proving you wrong. So I sent Samaj a picture of my face. Dickhead. Well, he's wrong. That's just the way it is. He still tries to tell people that I only shave one side of my head.
You don't?
It does look like that in your picture, actually.
How?
I don't know. Is the mohawk lopsided? Like, is it more to
No.
one side than the other?
No.
Is it dead in the center?
Yeah.
It doesn't look like in that picture. It looks like it's sort of over to your left.
I think it's because of the mask, because of that big ass flowery thing on that one side's covering up so much of my head over there. Also the angle.
Yeah, it's probably that.
Yeah, there's a lot of But he's seen me straight on too. I also put my mohawk up on a stream just to disprove him out of spite. Out of spite, I went on camera with my mohawk up.
I'm kind of used to being on streams like the one person who comes on camera.
I am on camera periodically, but it requires me to like sit very close up to the desk with that background up. It's a pain in my ass.
Oh, Bane posted a picture of you actually here.
Yeah, that's
Right
pretty
there, like
accurate.
it's a picture of you. There you go.
Yeah. Yeah. I have asshole lips. It's fine.
There you go. I keep picking up this bottle thinking there's something in it, but there isn't.
Is it disappointing every time?
There is. It's a vacuum inside.
Yes, it's a vacuum actually. Yeah, it's
Otherwise, there is something inside it. I hate to tell you, Danny. Technically.
Yeah, there seems to be something in there.
It's disappointing every time, isn't it?
Just not drinkable.
When it's
No.
empty and you're
Well,
like, oh.
it's a fluid.
Did you pee in it?
No, gases are still fluids. Learn your physics. Fuck. There we go.
Get fucked. This has seriously gone downhill so fast.
Yes, I was just thinking that.
I only have one bottle. This is bullshit.
Oh boy.
And I think we should wrap it
Wait,
up.
Maybe.
Steve Shives doesn't have asshole lips. He has very moist vagina lips.
Okay, that's it. End the stream.
I should never have acknowledged Nick in the chat.
Oh my God.
I'm sorry.
Oh, I just pictured Steve Shives with a vagina on his face.
You're gay now.